Chapter 545. She turned him and clung weakly to his chest, trembling uneasily, and sobbing as she held his face in her hands. "Ali, I love you so much. Let's start over, okay? Ali, I beg you." She tiptoed to kiss his lips, but Luli avoided her and tried to pull her away. "Don't be like this, you're drunk." "I'm not drunk, I'm very sober, I know how much I love you." "Yanren, don't push me away please," she insisted on kissing his lips, slowly moving around. Luli was stunned as sparks appeared on his lips. Her lips were soft and sweet, and the familiar fragrance drilled into his nose. Even if they were separated for many years, his body still had an instinctive sense of familiarity with her, which numbed Luli's nerves. He unconsciously wrapped his arms around her waist, took the initiative and deepened the kiss. He carried her to the bed and the two of them intertwined together. Tao Yinran turned over and pressed Luli on the bed. She seduced him with her eyes and pulled off her hair tie, which was messy and flirtatious. It was like a hot dance performance. She was born to seduce men, and every move she made was enough to make a man's blood boil. Luli drank some wine, and his body produced an instinctive excitement. Under the stimulation of alcohol, it became more and more intense. Tao Yinran was like a water snake sticking to his body and slowly licking his throat. Luli's Adam's apple couldn't help but move. His nose opened and closed as he panted heavily. Tao Yinran slowly unbuttoned his shirt. Tao Yinran continued to skillfully tease him. She knew how to please a man in bed. She believed that no man with strong self-control could escape from her. Moreover, Luli was obviously aroused and excited. Her lips kept moving down. Luli's body was already excited to the extreme, but at this critical moment when he was about to compromise, Tao Yuan's face appeared in his mind, and he felt that this was a betrayal to her. His burning body was suddenly splashed with ice water. He realized what he was doing and hurriedly pushed Tao Yinran away. She was suddenly pushed aside and almost fell off the bed. She looked at him in surprise. "Ali, sorry we can't do this." Luli sat up. In just a second, the misty face had completely calmed down. "Why?" Tao Yinran frowned. He couldn't believe it. He was already very excited. "Wasn't he fine just now? Did I do something wrong?" "You're not wrong. It's my fault. I shouldn't have kissed you. Since I have no intention of getting back together with you, I can't have any relationship with you. That would be disrespectful to you." "Disrespect?" Tao Yinran frowned even tighter, exuding a strong sarcasm. "Oh, this is just your excuse. You're not afraid of disrespecting me. You just don't want me." She whispered. "I'm already lowly enough, what else do you want from me? Do you want me to kneel down and beg you?" "I didn't mean that. Anyway, I'm sorry." Luli covered her body with the sheet. "Go away, I don't want you to care about me." Tao Yinran pushed him away. Being rejected in bed by the man she loved was a great humiliation for a woman. She trembled with anger and roared shrilly. "Go away, go away." Luli opened his mouth and wanted to say something, but he finally held back and silently buttoned his shirt. "I'm sorry." The sound of the door closing came. He left. He really left. Tao Yinran screamed like a madwoman, smashing everything in the room that could be smashed into pieces. After a crazy vent, she finally collapsed on the ground exhausted and cried with her head in her hands. Luli stood at the door of the room, silently listening to Tao Yinran's hoarse cries. He felt very guilty. However, he was glad that the mistake didn't happen. If he really wanted her, it would be unfair to her. In those few seconds he thought that if he had sex with Tao Yinran, then Tao Yuan would no longer want him. He couldn't bear the risk of losing her. It was also at that moment that he clearly realized how important Tao Yuan was in his heart. He fell in love with her. Because he loved her, he would be jealous and pester her again and again. Because he loved her, Tao Yinran became less important. Because he loved her, he kissed her tonight. The strong impulse made Luli's chest heave up and down. He wanted to see her, he must see her immediately. Tao Yuan drank a lot and was drunk. Her whole body was weak and her consciousness was in a semi-hazy state. Her mind kept repeating the kiss in the dark. She knew it was Luli, so she should have pushed him away immediately. But why didn't she do so? She even responded to his kiss with her arms around his neck. Now that he thought about it with his little rationality, he regretted it so much. He might have just done it with Tao Yinran. They had just kissed passionately, but she not only let him kiss her but also responded to him. Thinking about it made him feel ashamed and dirty. The car stopped at the door of the apartment and Ouyang Shua asked, "Are you okay? Do you want me to carry you up?" "I'm fine." Although she said so, she couldn't even open the seat belt. "I'll help you." He smiled. See, you said you're not drunk. I'm not. She was just dizzy and weak. Drunk people always say they're not drunk. It's the first day of the year. Happy New Year to you. Thank you, you too. Don't you want to do something exciting to make your new year more meaningful? The evil intention in his devilish eyes was very obvious. The smile at the corner of his mouth was also very seductive. You've been trapped by Lu Li's feelings for so many years. Don't you want to completely get rid of it on the first day of the new year? Tao Yuan smiled faintly. If you mean having sex with you, then I'm not drunk to that extent. I'm not someone who will make mistakes because of loneliness. It's tiring to live too soberly. It's just a few decades. Why make it so hard for yourself? But I'll be even more tired if I have sex with you. She smiled. Don't think you can take advantage of me when I'm drunk. At this moment, Ouyang Shua's mind was in a momentary dilemma. Should he continue to pester her? A drunk woman would let her guard down. This was undoubtedly a good opportunity. Just looking at her now made him want to push her down. But he couldn't take advantage of her when she was in trouble. This wasn't to say that he was a noble gentleman. It was just that he couldn't do that to Tao Yuan. Then go up. Good night. Good night. Tao Yuan got out of the car. She staggered a few steps and couldn't walk steadily. But she knew that he was watching from behind. She was afraid that he would use this as an excuse to send her upstairs, so she tried to steady her steps. Of course, all this didn't escape Ouyang Shua's eyes. He could still see that she couldn't walk steadily at all. Watching her enter the apartment, he didn't leave immediately. He didn't know why, but he just didn't want to leave. He sat in the car for a while. A Jaguar sped over. As soon as the car stopped, the man in the driver's seat rushed out of the car and ran into the apartment. Luli. He really came after her. Ouyang Shua narrowed his eyes. There was an inexplicable meaning in his eyes. Things had obviously become more troublesome. But he liked a challenge. It was exciting. If Lu Li didn't have feelings for Tao Yuan, then what was the point of snatching her over? In the end, the corners of his mouth curled up into a meaningful and sinister sneer, and he drove away. Tao Yuan had just returned home. She collapsed on the sofa and closed her eyes to rest. She was very tired. She had drunk too much just now. Now that the alcohol had gone to her head, her whole body was hot and her head was dizzy. There seemed to be a surge of energy surging in her body. It kept boiling, trying to find an outlet to vent it out. Bang. The door opened with a loud noise. Tao Yuan was so shocked that she jumped up from the sofa and looked at Lu Li, who had suddenly barged in with inexplicable horror. His hair was messy and he looked agitated. His chest rose and fell as he panted heavily. Two red eyes stared at her like a wild beast. She shrank back. What are you doing here? I have something to say to you. I don't want to hear it. Get out. She stood up and tried to drive him out, but as soon as her arm touched his chest, he grabbed it. She struggled, but he had to take her. He grabbed her with his big hand and pressed her against him forcefully. She had just reached his chest when her head collided with his strong chest muscles. Wang, what are you doing? Let go of me, she wriggled, but he pressed her body down. Every time she struggled, her body would only be pressed closer together. It was like a second layer of skin without any gaps. His hot body temperature also became hers, and his restlessness also became hers. Lu Li, shouldn't he be at Tao Yanran's place? I have something to say to you. He pinched her chin and stared at her with his dark eyes. There was a ferocious emotion in his eyes. It was this kind of feeling, a feeling of satisfaction in his soul. It was a feeling that even if the world fell apart, he just wanted to look at her and hold her. I said I don't want to hear it. Get out, don't bother me. You have to hear it. I love you. Tao Yuan's body trembled and she instantly stopped struggling. Was she hallucinating because she drank too much? He said he loved her? Buzz, buzz, buzz. For a long time her ears kept ringing with this voice and her mind was blank. Her heart felt like it was being fiercely clenched and pain spread out. No, this couldn't be true. She struggled even harder and shouted. If you're drunk, then go back to Tao Yanran and get it. What are you doing here in the middle of the night? I'm very sober. Lu Li pinched her chin and clearly said each word. I love you, I'm in love with you. Do you understand? Chapter 546. I'm not lying to you. If it's possible, I don't want this to be true. But I F asterisk king. He couldn't help but curse. I'm really F asterisk king in love with you. I don't know what's going on, but I'm crazily infatuated with you. My mind is only thinking about you like I've gone crazy. I don't even want to care about Tao Yenran. Do you understand? He roared loudly. Tao Yuan didn't want to listen, but every word drilled into her ears. It was as if the voice of fate was echoing in her mind, drowning her in his love. Her body trembled even more than before. She felt terrified and wanted to escape. She laughed sarcastically. You're telling me this right after getting off Tao Yenran's bed? Is there a man more despicable than you in this world? Oh what? You're tired of sleeping with the same woman and want to change your taste. Let's see who can please you more in bed, me or her? She sneered, looking at him as if she was looking at the dirtiest and most disgusting person in the world. The words that came out of that cute little mouth made him so disgusted. Luli didn't want to hear a single word and kissed her fiercely. Ugh! She struggled with all her might. Although she was weak, she still wanted to protect her last bit of dignity. Let go! But her resistance aroused Luli's desire to conquer even more. His actions became rough as he bit her lips hard. There was even a trace of blood in his mouth. Ugh! Let go! He had been longing for her sweet taste for too long. This kind of tearing was not enough to quench his thirst. Her already weak body melted under his attack. The two of them fell on the sofa together. A lingering kiss softened Luli's edges. The corners of his eyes were gentle, as if he was the most gentle person in the world. See, you like this kiss as much as I do. Tao Yuan was still a little dazed. When he kissed her again, she quickly moved away. I hate you. Then who responded to my kiss? You obviously like it very much. You just had sex with Tao Yenran, and now you're pestering me again. Don't you think you're so cheap and disgusting? Go away and don't touch me with your dirty hands. Who told you that I slept with her? Are you telling me that you've been chatting under the quilt for so long? Even a 3-year-old wouldn't believe such a clumsy lie. Would you believe me if I said that I've never even slept on her bed? Tao Yuan rolled her eyes. Such beautiful eyes, it's not good to use them to roll back. He kissed her eyelashes. Tao Yuan sucked in a cold breath. You take your hand away, don't touch me. You're so delicious, how could I bear not to touch you? Luli, I know you want it. Go away. Don't touch me. Don't you think it's too late to say this now? Tao Yuan was really going crazy. Don't be like this. She was so anxious that she started to cry. Don't cry, baby, I won't hurt you. He kissed her tears, using the most gentle voice he had ever used to comfort her. She felt that her body and soul were melting, gradually forgetting her hatred for him, but she still felt ashamed, and her mouth was still stubbornly resisting. Don't touch me with your dirty hands. I've never touched Tao Yenran, I swear to you. I only want you, only you. Beside her ear, he repeated the words over and over again, blowing his breath into her cochlea. I only want you. Tonight you're mine. He actually saw the blood stains. Luli was stunned. There had never been a moment in his life that he was as excited as this moment. That night 3 years ago she didn't shock gratitude. All kinds of emotions welled up in his heart. He had already been so tender earlier, and now he wanted to pour all his tenderness on her. Baby, don't cry. I'll be gentle. He struggled to stay still, even though his forehead was covered with a layer of sweat. The sunlight stung her eyelids and it was very uncomfortable. Tao Yuan subconsciously reached out to block it, and when she felt a little better, she slowly opened her eyes. She was so tired, and her whole body was sore, as if she had been run over by a big truck countless times. She had suffered so much tonight, and she would never drink so much again. What was even more strange was that she actually had a dream of him and Luli. Good morning. The sleeping beauty supported his head with one hand, and looked at her with a smile. Tao Yuan was so scared that she screamed. Why are you here? She hurriedly moved back and almost fell off the bed. The man stretched out his long arm and pulled her back. His handsome face was bathed in the sunlight, and his skin was so white that it was almost transparent. Do you need to be so scared? His upper body was naked and she was also. Tao Yuan's body was trembling like a sieve, and the words drunk echoed in her ears like a curse. But she still didn't dare to believe it. You tell me, we only slept on the bed together for a night and nothing happened. She swallowed and spat with difficulty, and her words were stuttering and unclear. Luli smiled lazily, and his beauty could cause the downfall of a city, and it was somewhat evil. Then tell me, if we only slept for a night, why are we not wearing any clothes? Maybe I vomited and was dirty? Her panicked look was extremely cute, and Luli couldn't help but caress her face and chuckled. Hee, you're really too interesting. His tone was full of pampering, but it made Tao Yuan's hair stand on end. She must still be dreaming, right? And it was a nightmare. She pinched herself hard and it would hurt. Was it not a dream? She didn't dare to believe it. Yesterday was already like that. If nothing happened between us, then there's only one possibility, and that's that I'm useless. But I'm a man with a healthy body and mind, and not just healthy. He smiled wickedly and he was abominably pleased. Tao Yuan tried to comfort herself that he was just scaring her, but with his evil gaze the scene from last night gradually became clear. She drank a lot and then he suddenly barged in and then, it was like dry firewood in a raging fire so crazy. Seeing her face turn pale and red, it wasn't difficult for Lu Li to guess what she was thinking, and he asked with a smile that didn't seem like a smile. Were you satisfied last night? You're shameless. She wanted to slap him but he easily caught it. The man didn't even frown and his smile was still so dazzling. You're behaving atrociously just after sex? Who wants to do it with you? You're strong. Her slender body was trembling with anger. Tao Yuan couldn't believe that she would be abused like this again and by Lu Li. Her stomach churned and she almost vomited. Everything last night was natural and I admit that I was in charge, but you cooperated with me. And you enjoyed it. I didn't. You're the one who took advantage of me. You say that, but your body's reaction is completely different. Of course it's normal and not something to be ashamed of. Don't be in a hurry to deny it. That night 3 years ago Was last night not enough? How else do you want to humiliate me? That's not what I mean. Lu Li's expression became serious. That night 3 years ago you weren't violated, right? Tao Yuan laughed coldly. You mean that I'm lying? But why would I lie? Do I like to humiliate myself to gain your sympathy? Do I want to make you feel guilty? That's not what I mean. Last night was your first time. What did you say? Last night you kept screaming in pain and you were bleeding. There are still traces of your blood on the sofa. Maybe it's because you're too rough. No, I clearly felt that layer of membrane. That night, are you sure that happened? Tao Yuan recalled. That night, your mother and sister tricked me into the room, and then someone pinned me down on the bed. I resisted with all my might, but he slapped me and I fainted. When I woke up in the morning, I realized that I wasn't wearing anything. Then did you see blood? Tao Yuan shook her head. But my body was in pain. That's what he did to you when he held you down, isn't it? I don't know. Tao Yuan's mind was in a mess. But I fainted. How could he let me go? I'm not sure about that, but I'm very sure that last night was your first time. Tao Yuan, you weren't raped. Lu Li emphasized. She was completely stunned, unable to digest this fact for a while. She had always thought that she was raped and she lived with this shame for 2 to 3 years, often having nightmares. But now he was actually telling her that she wasn't raped? She couldn't differentiate the different feelings at all. Thinking of the psychological trauma she had suffered in the past 3 years, Tao Yuan suddenly became angry. Do you think that you can wash away your sins like this? Even if you failed, you are still the executioner. Her hatred was still strong. She would never forgive the person who pushed her into hell in this life. I didn't know about that incident before and I only found out later. When I arrived at the hotel the next day, you had already left. The reason why I lied to you was because I wanted you to hate me. I know that you haven't been well these few years, but I have also been condemned in my heart. Lu Li's guilty expression in Tao Yuan's eyes was a joke. He, a heartless person will also blame himself? I just want to tell you that I didn't join forces with them, but I am also responsible for that incident. I'm sorry. Lu Li tried to hold her hand, but she shook it off. Let go, you don't have the right to touch me. No matter what, I'm very grateful that I didn't make a big mistake that night. You don't have to be traumatized. He said it casually, but to Tao Yuan, it was a deeper irony. The psychological trauma has already been caused. How do you think I can get rid of it? I'm sorry, please let me make it up to you. Chapter 547. The more she thought about it, the angrier she became. Don't pretend. If you really wanted to make up for it, you wouldn't have taken advantage of me last night. To you, maybe I'm just a woman with a higher class than a prostitute. I don't think so. At least now, I don't think so. Did you forget what I said last night? You love me? Ha, even a 3-year-old child wouldn't believe this kind of lie. Do you think my IQ is lower than a 3-year-old child's? Lu Li tried to explain, but he knew her personality too well. If he kept emphasizing it now, it would only make her more disgusted. He shouldn't push her too hard. The best way for her was to prove it with time. Let's not talk about this now. I'll tell you a few things first. First, I've never thought about getting back together with Tao Yenran. I haven't thought about it since we separated and I won't in the future. So, don't keep pushing me to her. We've only seen each other a few times since she came back, and we haven't slept together. If I can, I'm willing to show you my heart to prove this. Tao Yuan couldn't help but want to believe him again. She felt that she would be buried in those fake sincere eyes for the rest of her life. He was clearly a liar who lied without blinking. During this time I've been thinking about you. At first I thought it was because I was unwilling. I was unwilling that you didn't have a good life as I did, and I was unwilling that you were surrounded by so many men. However, in the process I was always attracted to you. It was like a foot in a hole and I fell deeper and deeper. When I realized that I wanted to pull it out, it was already too late. I didn't even have time to think about Yenran. He, who had always been calm, became agitated as he spoke. She really isn't that important to me anymore. After a while she will completely become a thing of the past and you will talk about my present and future. What happened last night was not a surprise to you or me. You still have feelings for me and I've fallen in love with you. Don't say that I don't believe every word that comes out of your mouth. Even if it's true, what makes you think that I'll come back to you after so many things have happened? Am I so cheap in your eyes that I'll go back as long as you wave your hand? Tao Yuan shook her head. Even saying these words was shameful, let alone doing it. Giving up is something that accumulates over a long period of time, not a sudden one. How do you expect me to turn back? Since we can't turn back, let's start anew. Lu Li stubbornly looked into her eyes. All I want is a chance. Tao Yuan, give me a chance. She covered her ears. I don't want to hear anything now. Leave. Tao Yuan, leave. Lu Li hesitated for a moment and decided to give her some space. Alright, I'll leave first. But I want you to know that my determination to start over with you is very firm. I am definitely not playing with your feelings. Ouyang Shua didn't sleep that night. When the sky was just beginning to brighten, he received a call from Tao Yenran. After a morning jog, he went straight to her hotel. As soon as he opened the door, he almost fainted from the pungent smell of alcohol. Tao Yenran sat on the ground with disheveled hair. Her eyes were sunken and she had lost a lot of weight. It was hard to imagine that this change happened overnight. The two of them had known each other for several years. Tao Yenran was a charming woman. He was almost bewitched by her at that time. A proud woman who always wore exquisite makeup and attracted the attention of countless men, showed him her most embarrassing appearance for the first time. It could be seen that she had suffered a big blow last night. However, Ouyang Shua didn't feel anything. Not to mention heartache, he didn't even have a trace of sympathy. The two of them were just allies. He had never taken her seriously. What kind of blow did you suffer? TSK, poor thing. Tao Yenran was still holding a bottle of wine in her hand. Her eyes were red, and the hatred was like a poisonous glint drilling out from the bottom of her eyes. Kill Tao Yuan for me. I don't care what method you use. You can do it yourself or hire someone to kill her. Kill her for me. Ouyang Shua shrugged and sat down on the chair. He put his hands on both sides and crossed his legs. Miss, you have to go to jail for murder. I'm not a killer, useless. Tao Yenran threw a bottle of wine at him. Ouyang Shua tilted his head and easily dodged it. Bang! The broken pieces of the bottle flew all over the wall. A large piece was also splashed on his back. Ouyang Shua smiled. It's not good for a woman to be so violent. I hate her. I want her dead. Why can't I be compared to her? Why does Lu Li want her and not me? What are you talking about? Didn't you say he loves you? I thought so too. But if he loves me, he wouldn't have pushed me away last night. I've already pleased him like a lowly prostitute, but he still doesn't want me. He must have gone to find that bitch. So. Ouyang Shua didn't take it seriously and said perfunctorily. Men are like this. They have a red rose and they want a white one. Maybe he's just looking for novelty. Male animals are born with a desire to conquer. The more Tao Yuan ignores him, the more he wants to conquer her. When he gets her, he quickly loses interest. You don't know him at all. He's not that kind of person. In the past, when he only had me in his heart, he wouldn't look at other women. He must have fallen in love with Tao Yuan. Tao Yenran screamed. Her hair was disheveled and she looked haggard like a mental patient. Hatred was the only reason that kept her alive. How could he fall in love with her? She was raped. Doesn't he think it's dirty? Why would he rather have a raped woman than me? Ouyang Shua didn't say anything. He never told Tao Yenran that he didn't rape Tao Yuan that night. He planned it that way at the time, but Tao Yuan fainted. He didn't have a hobby of raping corpses. Or it could be said that at that time, his humanity hadn't been completely obliterated. He just created an illusion to make Tao Yuan think that she was raped. However, this misunderstanding only lasted until last night. He was sure that she and Lu Li had sex last night. This was probably the reason why he couldn't sleep all night. In short, this caused him trouble. He thought about it over and over again as he crushed a goblet. The shards pierced his fingers and he silently watched the blood flow down. If he had been more ruthless that night 3 years ago, perhaps he wouldn't have been so upset last night. But did he really want to hurt her? Now he wasn't sure. Temporarily putting those worries to the back of his mind, Ouyang Shua's expression was very calm from beginning to end, making people unable to understand him. So, you're just going to admit defeat? Admit defeat? Impossible. How could I admit defeat? Even if I die, I will drag that woman down with me. Ouyang Shua applauded. That's right, I appreciate your courage to perish together, but I also have to say that this is too stupid. With a hint of ridicule, he lightly smiled. Being provoked by a moment of emotion, losing your calm and then losing everything, is this the result you want? Of course not. Then let's continue according to our plan. You crying like this, other than embarrassing yourself, what good is there? To be honest, he really looked down on this kind of woman. If she didn't still have value, he wouldn't be bothered to coax her. Don't worry with me here, you're already halfway there. Ouyang Shua said with certainty. He and Tao Yinran were both cunning foxes, but it was clear that his skills far surpassed hers. Really? Can I still trust you now? Tao Yuan can even confuse Lu Li. I think it's only a matter of time before she takes you down. Who knows, she might even turn her spear to me. Ouyang Shua's eyebrows sank, his seemingly indifferent attitude was mixed with a hint of warning. Don't compare me with Lu Li, I hate this kind of comparison. Tao Yinran was in a very bad mood, but she didn't dare to touch Ouyang Shua's bottom line, so she didn't say anything. In short, if you are also confused by that woman, I will look down on you. Tao Yuan lay in bed for the whole morning before getting up. Too many things had happened today and her heart was in a mess. In the end, she thought that she would just take it as being bitten by a dog. In any case, she thought that her membrane had already disappeared 3 years ago. Walking to the living room, the snow-white sofa was stained with bright red blood, a symbol of her chastity. Eehee, how ironic. She got a basin of water and forcefully wiped the blood stains clean, over and over again, as if she was venting her anger. Until there was only a very faint mark left, she still felt that it was very glaring, and she couldn't ignore it no matter what. She knew that the blood stains were branded in her heart and could never be erased. Anxious and angry, she sat on the ground and cried. In the end, she called the neighborhood security guard and gave him the sofa. Sitting alone on the empty living room floor, the more she sat, the more depressed she became. She called Panchi. Accompany me to buy furniture. After leaving Tao Yuan's house, Lu Li stayed downstairs for a while before leaving. He was not in a very good mood, and drove alone aimlessly on the streets for more than an hour. He called Lin Yuqing but no one picked up, so he went directly to his villa. Young Master Lu, you're here. Sister Qin, the housekeeper, bowed respectfully. Lu Li nodded and strode inside. Where is he? Young Master is still resting. It's already 12 o'clock. Sister Qin shrugged, indicating that she was already used to it. What could she, as a servant, say about her master's impudent behavior? Lu Li went upstairs and was about to push the door open when Sister Qin awkwardly advised him. You better not go in. There's a woman? Yes. Lu Li knew that it would be strange if Lin Yuqing didn't go into heat at night. He directly pushed the door open. Lu Li frowned. He felt nauseous just by looking at her. Go and wake him up. I'll wait in the study. In the study. Lu Li crossed his long legs and held a cigarette between his fingers, puffing out clouds of smoke. Even if he looked a little impatient, he still looked very charming. After smoking a few cigarettes, he looked at his watch. It had been 10 minutes. He had always been impatient. The door opened. Lin Yuqing, with a messy bird's nest hairstyle, covered in a bathrobe, walked in with his head down. His eyes were half closed and he couldn't even open them. He sat on the sofa lazily. Sister Qin, he shouted weakly at the top of his voice. My coffee? He squinted one eye and looked at Lu Li with an incomparably broken expression. Chapter 548. It's already 12 o'clock. He blew a smoke ring at him. I only slept for 6 hours yesterday. Lu Li flicked the cigarette ash, his eyes full of disdain. You weren't the only one who had sex last night. To be precise, what you did is called animal mating. You did it too? So hot. Lin Yuqing wailed again. You didn't come all the way here just to show off, did you? Please, is it necessary? Lu Li raised his eyebrows in pride. Sister Qin came in with a cup of coffee. Lin Yuqing took a sip and sobered up a little. His slender fingers rubbed his temples and he slowly regained consciousness. I'm different from you, I'm playing with my wife. Tao Yuan? Are you kidding me? 3 years ago wasn't she? Under that dangerous gaze, Lin Yuqing swallowed his words in time. You know, last night was her first time and she bled. Bleeding can't prove it, right? Seems like some women will. I'm sure it was her first time. That night, the person deliberately created an illusion. Damn, who's so perverted. But no matter what, congratulations. Otherwise, this will haunt you for the rest of your life. Lu Li didn't say anything and 2 puffs of smoke slowly came out of his nose. It would be a lie to say that he didn't mind, but what right did he have to mind? He could only blame himself and hate himself. But she wasn't violated, which was a big surprise in his life. Even he who didn't believe in fate, felt grateful for fate for the first time. Lin Yuqing regained his spirit and asked seriously. So you guys reconciled? Not yet, she hates me now. Of course. Being stared at by the man again, Lin Yuqing laughed dryly. But it's only a matter of time before you guys reconcile. Of course. Lu Li's expression softened. I want to get her back. Then Tao Yanran, she and I are already in the past. Lin Yuqing observed his expression without batting an eyelid. His eyes were very calm, and his tone was also very calm and unperturbed. There was no reluctance or regret. It seemed like it was really in the past. If that's the case, then stop looking left and right. In this society, it wasn't easy to meet someone you loved. You see, I haven't found the right girl. As a brother, I'm quite envious of you. Don't spout such useless nonsense. Lu Li stubbed out his cigarette and asked seriously. Quick, help me come up with an idea. How should I pursue her? You're asking me, then you're definitely asking the wrong person. Don't think that I have so many girlfriends, but I've always been pursued by others since I was young. I haven't spent any time on any woman, so I don't know. If you want to die, just say it. Lin Yuqing trembled helplessly. I'm telling the truth. Why don't you give her a gift? Women like jewelry, bags, and famous brands. That woman in my house is not an ordinary woman. Either the heart or the kidneys. If it's your heart, then give her a lot of love. Think about what she likes, cater to her preferences, and let her truly feel your concern. Kidney transplant, hee. She doesn't even let me touch her now. Lin Yuqing didn't care. You really won't touch her if she doesn't let you? Let me tell you, women are especially duplicitous in this regard. If she really didn't let you touch her, would you have broken her last night? Lu Li thought about it and finally said something useful. No matter how much Tao Yuan hated him with her words, her body still had feelings for him and she responded honestly. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been so perfect the first time. Thinking of this, Lu Li's mood suddenly became much better, and he already had a lot of plans in his mind. Lin Yuqing sighed in his heart. Men in love were indeed all the same. Their IQs were in the negative, and they liked to worry about nothing. How could a smart man like him give up the whole forest for a small blade of grass and annoy himself to that extent? Well, definitely not. Looks like you really care about it. If there's anything you need me to do, just tell me. Just say the word and I'll do anything for you. Lu Li immediately expressed. There's no need for that, but you can really come in handy. Lin Yuqing felt bitter. He was just saying it casually. Furniture City. The shopping guide had been following Tao Yuan enthusiastically, asking her about her preferences and selling her a variety of styles. Tao Yuan originally didn't dislike these things, but when she was in a bad mood, the shopping guide's voice annoyed her a little, and she couldn't help but interrupt her. We'll take a look ourselves first and we'll look for you if we need anything. There are a few more over there, there's really no need. You can go and greet other customers. Then you guys take a look first, call me if there's anything. It seems that someone is in a bad mood today. As soon as the shopping guide left, Pan Chi said. In the past, you were the worst at rejecting shopping guides, saying that it's not easy for them to promote products, and even advised me to be patient with them. Tao Yuan instinctively denied it. No, it's just that you have to try it yourself to know. It's useless for her to say too much. Come on, we've been friends for so many years, what can you hide from my eyes? I also know that it's because of that bastard Lu Li again. I don't want to hear his name. I don't want to hear his name, but I don't want a divorce. Pan Chi rolled her eyes and muttered softly. Don't you think that he's more annoying in front of you? Tao Yuan tried the sofas one by one. What do you think of this leather sofa? Didn't you like fabric sofas before? And you like light colors, don't you think this brown one is too dark? Really? I don't think so. Subconsciously, Tao Yuan felt that the leather sofa was easy to take care of. If it was a dark color, even if it was dirty, it wouldn't be seen, unlike today, where she felt that it was glaring and couldn't be wiped off no matter how hard she tried. Of course, she also knew that she was deceiving herself and others, and it was useless at all. Your sofa has only been used for half a year, and it's already broken? It's dirty, so I threw it away. A thrifty person like you would actually throw away a sofa that has only been used for half a year. Something's wrong. What's wrong? Hey, I asked you to choose a sofa, not to interrogate me. Tao Yuan quickly stood up. This one, I'll pay for it. Pan Chi shook her head. There must be a ghost, there must be a ghost. After buying the furniture, the two of them went shopping in the mall. Pan Chi went to the bathroom and Tao Yuan sat in the same seat, playing with her mobile phone. It was the first day of the new year, and everywhere was decorated with lanterns, full of festive atmosphere, but she couldn't be infected by the happy atmosphere at all. Sister-in-law, what a coincidence. Tao Yuan turned her head and saw Lin Yuqing standing in front of her with a cheeky smile on his face. She admitted that Lin Yuqing was a good-looking man, but he was famous for being a playboy and most importantly he was Lu Li's friend. She had a very bad impression of him, so she forced a smile. Yes. Shopping alone? No, with my friend. Oh, then you don't mind if I sit down? Before she could answer, Lin Yuqing had already sat down shamelessly. Tao Yuan actually wanted to say that she did mind. I haven't seen you for half a month, and you've become even more beautiful. You're glowing, radiant, and rosy. Lin Yuqing flattered her in an exaggerated manner. What's the matter? Tao Yuan interrupted him. Lin Yuqing laughed dryly. There was actually a woman who was immune to his sugar-coated bullets. Difficult to deal with, no wonder Lu Li was so troubled. It's just a chance encounter and I wanted to say hello to you. I was stunned by your beauty and I sincerely praised you. Yes, it's definitely from the bottom of my heart. Sister-in-law is indeed my sister-in-law. How can those vulgar women compare to you? Tao Yuan's lips twitched. During the first year of my marriage with Lu Li, you fooled around with him a lot. How many vulgar women have you called sister-in-law? Lin Yuqing's smile froze. You're really good at joking. Those vulgar women are just fleeting clouds in the business world. There's only one sister-in-law and there will always be only one. His expression was like that of the most loyal soldier, and Tao Yuan found it hilarious to look at him. Birds of a feather flock together. Lu Li's friends were really not good people. If it were anyone else, they would definitely feel embarrassed when Tao Yuan mocked them in front of their faces. But Lin Yuqing's advantage was that he was thick-skinned, so he laughed and did not think much of it and praised her fiercely. However, Tao Yuan had long become immune to sweet nothings. Even if Lin Yuqing praised her to the skies, she was still unmoved. This place is not big, but it's not small either. I don't believe that it's a coincidence. Did Lu Li send you here? Ah. Sister-in-law is indeed my sister-in-law. I can't hide anything from you. Amazing. If there's wine now, I'll definitely toast you 3 times. Don't be polite. No matter what he asks you to say, I don't want to hear it. Don't be like this, sister-in-law. My brother really knows his mistake this time. Can't you give him a chance? Tao Yuan smiled slightly, but there was no emotion in her eyes, only alienation. Don't call me sister-in-law. We're not that close. We didn't know each other before, so you have some misunderstandings about me. That's why we need to interact more. The point is not who asked me to come. The point is that what I'm going to say next is the truth. Her smiling face became a little more serious. Actually, as early as more than a month ago, my brother said that his feelings for you were different from before. Wasn't the company's anniversary dinner to make up for your wedding anniversary? I told him at that time that it was related to your reputation and asked him to think about it carefully. What he meant was that he wanted to start over with you. That's what he told me before the dinner started. But who knew that Tao Yanran would suddenly come back that day? I can guarantee you with my integrity that my brother didn't know about it before. He was also very surprised, so it's even more impossible that they teamed up to deceive you. Tao Yuan took it as nonsense. She snorted and asked a question. You have integrity too? Hey, I know I'm a bastard, but I definitely didn't lie about this matter. I'll swear with anything you want me to. Maybe you didn't lie. It was Lu Li who lied to you. Chapter 549. Tao Yuan said calmly. You're mistaken. He doesn't care about me. He cares about his pride. That's because he's a straight man. You're either not confident in yourself or you don't know my brother. If he doesn't care about you, he won't care about you. Ask yourself, during this period of time, has he not spent enough effort on you? I know you two had a lot of unhappiness in the past, but a day as husband and wife means a lifetime of love. Since he wants to repent, give him a chance. I see I'm so sincere. Can't you give me some face? Lin Yuqing used his eyes to please her. He was almost wagging his tail like a wolf puppy. Tao Yuan was still indifferent. She felt that she must have been trained to be as tough as steel. Lu Li asked you to be his lobbyist. That can only be described with one word: he entrusted the wrong person. Don't be so cruel, sister-in-law. You're the best. Lin Yuqing couldn't persuade her, so he hugged Tao Yuan's arm and acted like a spoiled child. Sister-in-law, make up with my brother. He'll kill me if you don't, sister-in-law. Sister-in-law? He was trying his best to act like a spoiled child when he suddenly heard an angry roar. Lin Yuqing, you pervert. Then he was pulled up by a brute force and received a tight slap on his face. Lin Yuqing was stunned by the slap. The aggressive woman in front of him made him think that he was hallucinating. Tomboy? Why are you here? F***ck, he couldn't be dreaming, right? Pervert, how dare you lay your hands on my bestie? Are you tired of living? What? Your bestie? Sister-in-law, that tomboy is your bestie? Lin Yuqing wailed in his heart. Just let him die. How can you be a bestie with such a person? What sister-in-law? How can Yuan be your sister-in-law? Who's your brother? Lu Li? Pan Qi and Lin Yuqing had a grudge. When she heard that he was so close to Lu Li, she hated him even more. You two are indeed in cahoots. You two are not good. You're even more despicable. How dare you seduce your own brother's wife? Watch your mouth. What do you mean by hook? I'm trying to persuade them to reconcile. Is there anyone who advises him like that? I can sue you. You're a stud. As long as it's a woman, you'll sleep with her. Lin Yuqing couldn't beat her in a scolding. He couldn't beat her in a scolding since junior high school. Now he could only be so angry that he couldn't speak. He had always been successful with women, but this Pan Qi treated him like a cockroach, scolding and beating him. She was his nemesis. Tao Yuan was dumbfounded. What kind of enmity did these two have for them to start such a big fight as soon as they met? What? You have a guilty conscience, so you can't speak, right? A good man doesn't fight with a woman. Hey, you're a good man. You're obviously a scumbag. To people like him, Pan Qi's mouth had always been very vicious. For the sake of sister-in-law, I won't argue with you today. We will meet again in the mountains and rivers. Let's wait and see. Lin Yuqing left in a huff. Pan Qi was still scolding. He didn't take advantage of you, did he? No, he was really just trying to persuade me. You don't know him. He was taking advantage of the opportunity. He's a person with no bottom line. He can even stretch his claws to his brother's woman. Pan Qi was still angry. I didn't expect him to be Lu Li's brother. But it makes sense. Scumbags hang out with scumbags. Both of them are not good people. What kind of deep hatred do you have with him? We were classmates in junior high school. He played with women since junior high school. At that time, several girls in our class had abortions because of him. One of my best friends committed suicide because of him. Thinking of that past, Pan Qi frowned. Later he came to Spain as an exchange student for a year. He was in the same school as me and played with all the prettiest girls in our school. Anyway, I just can't stand him. Tao Yuan nodded. So that's how it is. He's also a notorious playboy. But what can you do? Those girls are all willing to be with him. What can you do? That's why I'm angry. I don't know if there's something wrong with their brains. They actually sent themselves to be played by a scumbag. Tao Yuan knew that Pan Qi was a woman with a strong sense of justice, so she could understand her anger. You and I are willing. We each take what we need. As long as the other party can accept it. Don't worry about it, you macho woman. Pan Qi was still angry, so she raised her fist. Don't let me see him again. Otherwise, I'll beat him up every time I see him. On the second day of the new year, Tao Yuan went to work as usual. The regular meeting was just to boost morale and look forward to the new year. It lasted for 2 hours. After the meeting, she took the contract to the director's office. When she signed, Ouyang Shua teased her. You're really a model worker. You finished 8 projects in a month. Thank you, director. But it would be better if the compliment was not just verbal. She was willing to joke with him, and Ouyang Shua was also in a good mood. That makes sense. To keep a talent like you, a pay raise is a must. How much do you want? How about I give you the salary slip and you fill it out yourself? So generous? Aren't you afraid that I'll fill in 80,000 yuan? You're worth that price. If it doesn't work out, I'll pay the other part out of my own pocket. Tao Yuan was also a practical woman. Since they were talking about this, she took the opportunity to fight for her own interests. It doesn't need that much. Just a few thousand will do. No problem. Also, can I be in charge of the newly opened Wilton City Resort? Don't you like challenging projects? There's only an inspection there. I plan to hand it over to Lao Liang. There's no big or small project. It just so happens that I want to visit a friend there. Leave the inspection task to me. You're using work as an excuse to go there for a holiday, aren't you? Tao Yuan shrugged. You've seen through me. You're usually very tense. A holiday to relax is a good choice. I hope you're not doing it to escape. His casual words stabbed straight into Tao Yuan's heart. So it was obvious? Yes, she wanted to escape from Lu Li. She was afraid that he would continue to pester her, and she didn't know how to face him. She felt very uncomfortable just working in the same place and breathing the same air as him. Escaping for a few days was not a long-term solution, but if she didn't even have space for a few days, she would definitely suffocate to death from the pressure. Ouyang Shua looked at her in silence, his little face slightly pale. He didn't know when it started, but every time he saw her like this, he would have the urge to hug her and comfort her. That kind of thought was getting stronger and stronger. You're not trying to escape from me, are you? Huh. You. Of course not. She directly denied it. Her straightforward attitude really hurt Ouyang Shua a little. Sure enough, he was thinking too much. Of course he was not that self-righteous. He was just joking. But behind every joke there was more or less a sincere meaning. He still hoped that he could have some influence on her, even if it was only a little. Sometimes, he clearly knew that he shouldn't say it, but he still blurted it out because of a moment of discomfort in his heart. So it's because of Lu Li? Her body trembled. That's my private life. Look, when I mention him, you're as tense as a hedgehog. It seems that you really need a holiday. I happen to have nothing to do this week. Shall I accompany you? It's just an inspection. I don't need two people. The project department still needs you. The reason was dignified, but she just wanted to have some space for herself and didn't want to be disturbed by him. Up until now, he couldn't make her happy, but he was her burden. This was an insult to a man who only needed a look to get a woman, but Ouyang Shua felt more disappointed. He suppressed the feeling in his heart and didn't show it on his face. Okay, then you can leave tomorrow. While Tao Yuan was thinking about how to escape from Lu Li, he was worrying about how to find an excuse to get close to her. Of course, he also knew that no matter what the reason was, she knew it was an excuse. Only one day had passed, but he felt like a century of suffering. He wanted to see her every minute and every second. Zhou Xingyang came in to hand in the documents. Lu Li threw it aside irritably after taking a glance, closed his eyes and pinched his eyebrows. Do you want coffee? Zhou Xingyang asked. Lu Li shook his head. He had already drunk 8 cups in one morning, and the more he drank, the more excited he became. Is she at the company? Yes. Manager Tao is going to inspect the new resort tomorrow. He secretly inquired about it early in the morning. Lu Li bounced up from his big office chair. Did she want to avoid him so much? He said without thinking. Book me a ticket on the same flight as her. Yes. Wait, Lu Li stopped him. I want the seat next to her. Tao Yuan's flight was at 10 o'clock in the morning, and the flight time was 5 hours. After finding a seat, she took out a magazine to read. It was close to takeoff time, and the stewardess led a tall passenger over and said enthusiastically, "Hello, this is your seat." Thank you. Tao Yuan was listening to music with headphones and inadvertently looked up. Pa! The magazine fell to the ground. She looked as if she had seen a ghost. Lu Li, he was scarier than a ghost. The man was dressed in a smart suit, mature and handsome. He bent down to pick up the magazine and returned it to her. The smile on the corner of his mouth was beautiful. Hey, what a coincidence. Tao Yuan quickly took off her headphones and stared at him with a frown, as if he would disappear into thin air. You are also going to inspect? He asked, calmly sat down and unbuttoned his suit. The suit was open and the snow-white shirt inside was exquisite. He was a man who was impeccable in every detail. How could she believe this was a coincidence? Recovering from speechlessness, Tao Yuan opened her mouth helplessly. Can't you give me a bit of privacy? Do you have to be so persistent? We just happened to go to inspect together and then we happened to be on the same flight and I happened to be sitting next to you. Tao Yuan rolled her eyes with an expression that said, "How can I believe your nonsense? Your seat should be in first class." "I have been sitting in first class for too long, so I changed my taste occasionally. It just happened to be next to you. What a coincidence." He lied with a straight face, and the more Tao Yuan listened, the angrier she became. She put the magazine and headphones back into the bag and stood up. The economy class was narrow, and his long legs were placed there, blocking her way. "Take your legs away. You are leaving?" "Of course, how could I go with you?" Just thinking of the 5 hours on the plane was hard for her, let alone a week of inspection. Chapter 550. Lu Li moved his upper body lazily, but his legs did not move at all. He looked at her leisurely with no intention of letting her go. Unfortunately, Tao Yuan was wearing a tight skirt that day, and it was not appropriate for her to step over his legs, so she could only push his legs. "I asked you to move, did he hear me? Hey, why are you such a rascal?" "What's the matter?" The stewardess came over and asked. "I want to get off the plane and he is blocking my way." The stewardess looked at Lu Li in confusion. He smiled and grabbed Tao Yuan's hand. "Sorry, my wife is not happy with me." "You are a husband and wife." The stewardess was surprised and a little disappointed. She had been thinking about how to ask him for his number. Sure enough, all good men were married. "Don't talk nonsense, you. Aren't you my wife?" Lu Li raised his eyebrows and his handsome face looked a little evil, with a different kind of charm. "You dare to say that you are not Mrs. Lu?" "It's not like that at all," Tao Yuan did not know how to explain. "I know it's my fault. I was so busy with work that I neglected you. I promised to go to Venice with you, but I stood you up. But I did it for our family. Don't leave alone in a fit of pique, okay? Look, I'm making time to go back to your parents' home with you." Lu Li said it very sincerely, looking like a good man. But only Tao Yuan could see through the teasing in his eyes. This man was too good at making up stories, and he did not even blink when he lied. "Madam, your husband is really good. Men are all focused on their careers, so it's understandable." The stewardess helped to speak up, and even the passengers next door began to help. "He deliberately chased you to the plane, just forgive him." "That's right, husband and wife always fight in bed." "Your husband is very handsome." Everyone was on Lu Li's side, and it looked like Tao Yuan was being unreasonable. The corners of his mouth curled up proudly. "The plane is about to take off, please sit down." Tao Yuan could only sit back down, feeling extremely depressed. He was really good at mobilizing the masses. "If you're so good at acting, why don't you apply for an Oscar?" Lu Li whispered in her ear. "Don't be angry, dear Mrs. Lu. Stay away from me. I have nothing to do with you. I have the marriage certificate with me. Do you want to see it?" Tao Yuan glared at him. "You know that I'm avoiding you. Can't you give me some space? Do you have to be so forceful? You're even more annoying like this." "I don't mean to force you. I just want to go on a business trip with you. You can treat me as a superior or an ordinary friend." That's easy for you to say. I can't do it. There are a lot of things in the world that are just people worrying over nothing. In fact, it's not that serious. You just need to relax." What he said made sense, but he didn't think about what he had done to make her hate him so much. If it was so easy to forgive, then there wouldn't be so much hatred. The stewardess came over to deliver the drinks. "Milk, so does my wife." Tao Yuan had wanted milk at first, but after hearing what he said, she deliberately went against his tune. "Who asked you to decide for me? I want coffee." "You've drunk enough in the office. Women tend to get irritable when they drink too much coffee." Your husband is very considerate," the stewardess said enviously. Ignoring her opinion, she poured 2 glasses of milk. Tao Yuan felt like she had to suffer in silence, unable to express her bitterness. She had really lost all hope in this society that valued appearance. Lu Li had a good appearance, so whatever he said or did was right. She could only suffer. "Didn't you sleep well last night?" Tao Yuan ignored him. "There are dark circles under my eyes." She still ignored him. "You can rest on the plane." She turned her face sideways to him and gestured with her hands. "There's a barrier between us. You can't hear anything you say. Don't you think it's childish to play this game? It's better than stalking others." "Okay." Lu Li shrugged and took out a financial magazine. Tao Yuan put on her headphones and took out a few documents about the resort. When she wanted to mark it, she couldn't find a pen anywhere. A pen was handed to her. She pushed it away. "I don't want your things. I'm the guilty one. Why are you arguing with a pen? It's innocent." Tao Yuan thought about it and felt that it made sense, so she took it. It was more than an hour after she finished reading the documents. She stretched her neck and turned to look. Lu Li had already fallen asleep. She had to say that he slept very well. His face was relaxed, his breathing was even, and he was very quiet. Moreover, the way he slept was not as hateful as when he was awake. It was probably because his eyes were too sharp that she felt very uncomfortable. As she looked at him, a mischievous idea suddenly popped up in her mind. She waved her hand in front of him, but he didn't respond. "You should be asleep." So she moved closer and carefully extended the tip of the pen to his face, preparing to draw a turtle. Her hand trembled violently because she couldn't hold back her laughter. Just as the pen was about to land on his face, the pair of sharp eyes suddenly opened, and then he grabbed her wrist. Tao Yuan, who was about to do something naughty, was startled and let out an ah. The corners of his mouth curled into a smirk, revealing his snow-white teeth. "You just said that I was childish. What are you doing now?" What did I do? I just wanted to return the pen to you." "Really? Are you sure you're not planning to draw on my face?" Tao Yuan laughed awkwardly. "Ah, how could I do such a childish thing? Stop talking nonsense and let go of me." "Let go. Do you hear me?" She struggled a few times. Only then did Lu Li let go of her. She hurriedly pushed the pen back to him. "I'll give it back to you. I don't want it anymore. I forgot to wear a condom." Lu Li put the pen back into the pocket of his suit. "Speaking of which, I just remembered that I forgot to wear a condom that night. If you're worried that I'm pregnant, then you can rest assured that I've already taken the medicine." Tao Yuan snorted sarcastically. "I don't want children either. It's really not a good time to have children now." Lu Li's idea was that their relationship was not good at the moment and they should wait for things to settle down before thinking about children. But in Tao Yuan's ears, he was reminding her that he was afraid that she would cause trouble for him. She felt upset and replied angrily. "Of course, who would want children when they're divorcing? That's not what I meant." "But that's what I meant. That night was a mistake and it won't happen again." Without waiting for him to speak, she had already put on her headphones and closed her eyes. As soon as they landed, Tao Yuan couldn't wait to get up and leave. Lu Li stood up at the same time. When she tried to squeeze out, she bumped into his chest and the two of them rubbed against each other several times. "Get out of my way." She gave him a shove and ran away faster than a rabbit. When she got out of the airport, the company car was already parked at the entrance. Manager Zhang, whom Tao Yuan had contacted before, came to pick her up in person. "Hello, Manager Tao." "Hello, Manager Zhang. Let's go." "The president hasn't arrived yet. Should we wait for him? Then I'll go back to the hotel first." "Don't be in such a hurry, the president is here." Manager Zhang hurried up to carry the suitcase for Lu Li. The two of them were forced to share the same car. Tao Yuan squeezed into the window and stayed far away from Lu Li. Manager Zhang asked, "How was the trip?" "Not very," Tao Yuan said annoyedly. "I met a pervert who keeps pestering me. It's so annoying." "Pervert?" Manager Zhang was very surprised. "Yes, he keeps pestering me like a fly. I can't get rid of him no matter what." She deliberately glanced at Lu Li. The man was still smiling, but he just lifted his eyelids slightly. "Maybe Manager Tao is too charming, so the other party keeps chasing after you. In other words, he keeps pestering me. No woman will like this kind of person. If you are willing to give him a chance, maybe you will find his good points. Always looking at the other party with the past eyes, there will be resistance from the heart. It is tantamount to binding yourself in a cocoon and you will miss a lot of opportunities." Tao Yuan smiled mockingly. "Some people I have already understood thoroughly. Annoying people will always be so annoying, it is impossible to change. Those opportunities I would rather not have." Manager Zhang inexplicably smelled a trace of gunpowder smoke. He always felt that there was a hidden meaning in their words, but he didn't understand it all. At 6 o'clock that night, Tao Yuan was invited to participate in the ribbon-cutting event of the new area of the resort. The person in charge of receiving her was a young girl named Jia Xiao, who spoke carelessly and had a very cute personality. During the event, Jia Xiao kept looking at Lu Li like a love-struck fool. "Manager Tao, I envy you so much. What? In your hotel you can see the president every day, right? So happy." Jia Xiao's eyes could not leave Lu Li at all, as if looking at him one more time was good. Of course, Jia Xiao was not the only one looking at him. All the female staff, female managers, female reporters, and female tourists were looking at him, as if they had never seen a man in their previous life. Tao Yuan was a smart woman. No matter how much she hated Lu Li in his territory, she would not be stupid enough to say bad things about him. She only replied, "Not bad." "What do you mean not bad? You're so happy, okay? The president is so handsome, it will definitely be good to see him every day." "Oh, I can't breathe. In my life I have only seen one man who can rival the president, and that is Boss Si Wenchen. Have you seen him before? He is a few years older than the president, a mature uncle type, and also very charming." Si Wenchen was a legendary person in the whole city. Tao Yuan had only seen him once, and since then he had become the #1 male idol in her heart. Most importantly, that man was famous for his doting on his wife and his power. He could be said to be perfect. Comparing Lu Li to Si Wenchen was simply an insult to him, okay? She looked over and saw Lu Li standing among a group of well-dressed celebrities, holding a glass of champagne in his hand, talking and laughing with them. He was polite and well-dressed, and he did not live up to his reputation of being a beast in human clothing. He turned his head and smiled at her under the golden lights. It was especially gentle, and she couldn't help but hold her breath and look away. His smile deepened. "Oh, Manager Tao, you know that the president is married, right? What kind of woman is his wife?" "I only know that she has the same surname as you, but I don't know anything else." Jia Xiao gossiped. The staff of the new resort were all locals, and most of them were rookies, so she was not very clear about the relationship between the Lu family. Tao Yuan replied, "Not bad, she is a very outstanding woman. She gave herself a pertinent evaluation." "Really? But they all said that she is very ordinary and the president hates her." Chapter 551. Tao Yuan thought that she must have done something unforgivable in her past life to fall into Lu Li's hands. Outsiders were envious of her good life, but only she knew the bitterness in her heart. There was a beautiful lady among the guests. She was the popular actress Qiao Shan, the goddess of otakus. She had the looks, the figure, and the acting skills. Tao Yuan had seen her movies. Her acting skills were not bad. But just based on that face alone, watching her eat sunflower seeds would probably take 2 hours. Qiao Shan had given Tao Yuan the impression of a noble and cold woman. But in front of Lu Li she did not put on the airs of a goddess. She smiled charmingly and passionately. Her intentions were obvious when she whispered into his ear. Even Jia Xiao could see it and kept saying, "Look at how charming the CEO is. Even Goddess Qiao can't control herself." If no one else was there, she would have already pounced on him. Tao Yuan smiled. This Qiao Shan was Lu Li's type. What type? Of course it was the vixen type. For example, Tao Yanran. After the event, they had a meal with the directors and shareholders of the new resort. There were more than 10 of them around a big round table. Sitting next to Lu Li was naturally the charming Qiao Shan. Tao Yuan had specially chosen a seat furthest from him. Thinking about it, it was unnecessary. With Qiao Shan accompanying him, he probably wouldn't even know her surname. During the meal, Qiao Shan kept toasting Lu Li, fawning over him in front of so many people and flattering him. The male directors could only look at her huge breasts with envy and flatter Lu Li. "CO, our goddess Qiao doesn't usually attend meals. She can't even carry a sedan chair. You're the one who has the face." "That's right. Beauties love heroes. We can only stare and envy. Haha. The president is really lucky with women. What's the point of a man's career success? Conquering goddess Qiao is the real deal." In the face of everyone's flattery, Lu Li was unmoved. He hated these kinds of dinners the most. If it wasn't for a certain someone, he definitely wouldn't have come. Unfortunately, a certain someone only lowered his head and ate the fish, not even sparing him a glance. Eat, eat, eat. All he knew was to eat. Was he not as attractive as a fish? "Manager Tao, is the fish delicious?" he suddenly asked. Tao Yuan didn't know that she was the topic of conversation. She didn't react until she noticed that everyone was staring at her. "What? Hey, is this fish delicious?" She opened her mouth and said dryly, "That is not bad. I heard it's the signature dish here." "Really?" No wonder he was so engrossed in eating that he didn't even raise his head. "If you like it, we can have another one." Tao Yuan did not like this kind of attention and laughed awkwardly. "Ah, there's no need." Qiao Shan sensitively sensed something unusual between the two of them. Although Lu Li was the main character, he didn't say much tonight. She thought he was a man of few words. After all, a man who could sit in the position of CEO was certainly not a superficial person. Now he actually took the initiative to ask this Manager Tao, which meant that she was very special in his heart. Who exactly was she? This is indeed the signature dish of our resort. You can't eat it anywhere else. If Xiao likes it, how about we order a few more? No need. Lu Li put on a meaningful smile and said in a low voice. It's already a pleasure to see Manager Tao enjoying it so much. Tao Yuan secretly swallowed her saliva. She felt that she was the fish, his food. Xiao Shan didn't want to be left out. She quickly said a few words to bring the attention back to herself. At this time, Jia Xiao probably had a few more drinks and suddenly said, Xiao, aren't you married? Xiao Shan's face turned pale. Tao Yuan almost laughed out loud. She was a little gloating. There was an awkward silence for a second, and then everyone began to smooth things over. Ah, so what if he has a wife? Nowadays, which capable man doesn't have a few women? Conquering a woman is not a skill. Conquering a dozen at the same time is a skill. Especially our Xiao, how can one woman be enough? Isn't it? It's normal for men to play around outside. Which one of them doesn't have a red flag at home and a colorful flag fluttering outside? This shows that he is charming. Tao Yuan secretly felt ironic. She had dealt with many so-called successful people like this. They looked good on the surface, but they spent every day outside drinking and playing with women as a way to show off. It was really disgusting. She couldn't eat anymore. Xiao, I heard that your Mrs. Lu is not very favored. Is the relationship not good? Someone drank too much and dared to ask about Lu Li's private life. After a few years of marriage, even the best relationship will fade. No matter how fragrant the flowers at home are, they can't be as fragrant as wildflowers. That's right, of course it's the women outside that are fresh and exciting. Ah! These people who were talking couldn't feel it, but Xiao Shan, who was sitting next to Lu Li, felt a gust of cold wind. Lu Li's face darkened imperceptibly. In this society, money, fame, and women are very tempting, but those who fall into it are those who have poor self-control. To judge a man's success, it's not by how many women he has conquered, but by how he treats his wife. My wife and I have a good relationship now, and it will continue to be so. You don't need to worry. This was the longest sentence Lu Li had said that night. His tone wasn't harsh, but it was clear that he was unhappy. That imposing aura made them lower their heads involuntarily. This bootlicking had really gone too far, and it was too late to regret it. Xiao is right, Xiao is a good man. We all have to learn from Xiao. They awkwardly tried to smooth things over. After the meal, the next round was karaoke. Tao Yuan couldn't even make it through the meal, so she found an excuse to avoid the second round. When she walked out of the hotel, the moon was just right. The moonlight was like a silver plate, bright and clear. She looked at her phone and saw that it was the 16th day of the new year. The cold air made her sober up a little. It was a little cold, but it was much more comfortable than before. She had been in the workplace for a few years and was already used to the beasts in human clothing at meals and social interactions, but she still resisted it from the bottom of her heart. Every time a meal started, she would look forward to it ending quickly. The resort was huge and the hotel was quite a distance away from where she was staying. She decided to walk back to sober up. A hand patted her left shoulder. When she turned back, the man had already walked to her right. Didn't you go to karaoke? Boring and noisy activities, who wants to participate? Lu Li said with disdain. Then you can choose other more exciting activities. What are you referring to? Tao Yuan mocked. Goddess Zhao is looking forward to it. The man shrugged. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't play dumb. From the ribbon-cutting ceremony to the meal, Goddess Zhao can't wait to pounce on you and strip you clean. She's also your type, isn't she? Lu Li touched his lips and said slowly. If we're talking about likes, I really do like her, but forget about the others. Her makeup is too thick and her perfume is too strong. Don't you like this type? I used to, but now I like those who are pretty and comfortable to look at. For example, you. I like you. Tao Yuan rolled her eyes. So you've eaten too much meat and fish and you want to change to some light dishes? But I'm sorry, I'm not on your menu. Lu Li smiled. You're quite humorous. Tao Yuan put on a fake smile. You misunderstood. This is called sarcasm. Do you want to go back and rest? Yes. I want to go back too. The moon is nice today, it's a good time to take a walk together. The man suggested in a very natural manner. Lu Li suggested to take a walk together. Tao Yuan complained inwardly. Why was he like a piece of sticky candy? She couldn't get rid of him. It was so annoying. I like walking alone. It's safer to walk together. Lu Li was already walking side by side with him. Who knows if we'll meet a pervert? I've already met one. In order to shorten the time, Tao Yuan deliberately walked very fast. but walking in high heels was tantamount to self-torture. Soon she couldn't take it anymore. Are you in a hurry to take a walk? She ignored him, endured the pain, and continued to walk very fast. To prevent her from crippling her leg, Luli blocked in front of her. Listen to me for a few words. I know you're going on a business trip to avoid me. I also want to give you space, but I miss you very much. I can't stand you being so far away from me. He sighed helplessly. For this week, let's not think about or mention the past. Let's just treat it as two colleagues going on a business trip together, okay? Tao Yuan wanted to say that it wasn't that easy, but Lu Li's eyes were filled with a rare pleading look. The man who had always been high and mighty had lowered his posture in arrogance. For a moment, it was really hard for her to refuse. The words of rejection were clearly on the tip of her tongue, but she couldn't say it out. Actually, thinking about it, even if she said no, would he really give up? Obviously not. Since that was the case, why waste her breath? It's not completely impossible. She relented. But you can't be so annoying. Lu Li's eyes lit up and readily agreed. Okay. Most importantly, don't follow me wherever I go. It's really unbearable. No problem. If you don't want to hear my voice, then I won't speak. You can just pretend that I don't exist. He was so obedient that Tao Yuan didn't know how to deal with him. She simply said nothing and just slowed down her steps. Half an hour later, Tao Yuan arrived at the door of the room. Actually, I really want to go in for a cup of coffee. Before she could refuse, Lu Li added on to his own words. But I know you will refuse, so pretend that I didn't say anything. Did he deliberately say this nonsense in the hope that she would soften and change her mind? But that was obviously not going to happen. Good night. There was no activity the next day. Tao Yuan slept very late. When she woke up, she felt a familiar fatigue and soreness. Her head was also very dizzy. When she went to the bathroom, it was indeed her period. It was a week earlier than usual. It was all caused by the stress. She kept a tampon in her bag at all times just in case she needed it. Chapter 552. The resort was located in the southern suburbs, so the air was naturally much more comfortable than the dry indoors in the north. The weather was also very good and there were green plants everywhere, making it warm. Tao Yuan was enjoying a delicious breakfast. Hi, what a coincidence. Lu Li sat down opposite her with a tray. Her brows furrowed in an instant. Didn't you promise not to follow me? I swear it's a coincidence. Lu Li raised the corner of his mouth. He was wearing a pair of sunglasses and dressed casually, looking young and pleasing to the eye. He was born noble and refined. Even if he did not wear a suit, one could tell that he was a successful man at first glance. The watch in his hand alone was worth millions. Tao Yuan suddenly lost her appetite. Did you not sleep well last night? You don't look good today. Don't tell me you dreamed of me? She snorted. You also know that you are a nightmare? I slept very well last night, the air quality here is good. Yes, I could have had a good holiday. She said, originally. The weather is so good today, where are you going? It's rare for me to have a day off, so of course I will rest in my room. Her room was a room with a beautiful view of the sea. Just the thought of resting in the sun made her feel very comfortable. Isn't it a waste to stay in the room on such a good day? We have different interests. Tao Yuan hurried to finish her breakfast. Lu Li insisted on sending her back and followed her to the supermarket. I want to buy something, wait for me outside. Why are you so mysterious? Could it be? I have some at my place, you don't have to prepare it yourself. She rolled her eyes at him and did not bother to explain to him. Lu Li followed her to the women's products section. Tao Yuan felt a little embarrassed. It was the first time she had bought sanitary pads with a man. I was wondering why you don't look good. It turns out that you are on your period. Do you feel uncomfortable? I won't feel uncomfortable as long as you don't talk to me. She chose a few bags and hurried to pay the bill. She escaped back to her room, changed into warm pajamas, took a magazine and was about to enjoy life in bed when the doorbell rang. Tao Yuan was very depressed. She opened the door a little and saw Lu Li standing at the door with 2 paper bags. What is it? I'll go in first. He had already squeezed in with his body, placed the bag on the table and started taking things out one by one. I've done some research on the internet. Women with dysmenorrhea need to drink ginger water with brown sugar. We've bought all of them as well as a thermos. Oh, I heard that women are especially gluttonous during the holidays, so I've also bought snacks. He glanced at her. Why are you still standing there? Quickly lie down on the bed and rest. I don't have menstrual cramps. I don't need these. Can't you see how bad your complexion is? Leave that thing behind. You can go. As a colleague, I have the obligation to stay and take care of you. Luli found a high-sounding excuse. Hurry up and lie down to rest. Otherwise, I don't mind wasting time with you. After 10 seconds of stalemate, Tao Yuan admitted defeat and climbed onto the bed. Luli boiled some water, soaked the ginger with brown sugar, and placed it on the bedside table. I'll drink it later. Then he heated a thermos and covered her stomach with it. Pay attention to keeping your uterus warm during your period. I don't know what women like to eat during their period, so I bought some of them. Plum candy, jujube, chocolate, biscuits? What do you want to eat? Seeing that he was so considerate, Tao Yuan felt a little jealous for no reason. You really know how to take care of women. Tao Yanran has trained you well. I've learned these things on the spot. I've never taken care of a woman during the holidays before. Otherwise I could do better. In other words, she was the first. Tao Yuan had reservations about this sentence. I don't have much of an appetite. It's just my period. It's not like I'm seriously ill. There's no need to treat me as a key protected object. Subconsciously she resisted his kindness. Because she knew that he was just acting on a whim, but he hadn't won her heart back yet. It was easy to dote on a woman in a short period of time, but it was too difficult to dote on her for a lifetime, so she chose not to start. Periods are a small matter, but pregnancy is a big deal. At your age, if you don't pay attention to your period, it will affect your future pregnancy. So what? Anyway, the child is not yours. You don't have to worry about it. That's not what you said. Luli said with certainty. If you have a child in the future, the child's father must be me. Absolutely impossible. No one knows what will happen in the future, so don't rush to deny it. There's still a long way to go. After drinking the ginger brown sugar water, Tao Yuan said, You can go now. I'm fine. It doesn't matter if I stay with you. Maybe I can be useful. You will only disturb my rest. Seeing that she really didn't want him to stay, Luli didn't argue and stood up. Then have a good rest. I'll come over to have dinner with you tonight. Remember, keep warm. He left the room after a few words. Not long after, he received a call from Tao Yanran. In the past 2 days, he had hesitated whether to contact her or not, but in the end, he didn't want her to misunderstand, so he gave up the idea. It's me. Are you busy? Tao Yanran's tone was very light. No. What's the matter? Nothing. I just called to say hello. I drank too much on New Year's Eve and had a memory loss. Did I say anything I shouldn't have? Luli wasn't sure if Tao Yanran had really forgotten. She was still sober at that time and should remember. But that kind of thing was too embarrassing. Whether she remembered it or not, she had to pretend that she had forgotten. Well, no. That's good. I haven't drunk for a long time abroad. My ability to drink has deteriorated. I'll go crazy if I drink a little. I don't know what I've done. Anyway, even if I said something I shouldn't have, I was just acting crazy. Don't take it seriously. Okay. Luli looked at the scenery outside the window. It was surrounded by green trees and the breeze was gentle. The wind blew into his heart and dispelled the haze. Oh, there's one more thing. A friend of mine from the dance troupe has a ballet performance this Friday. But she was injured and asked me to help temporarily. It's a big performance. If you come, I can save a VIP seat for you. I'm out of town. There are still a few days left. Can't you come back? Didn't you say that it was a pity that you couldn't see my performance? Sorry, I still have something to do here. I see. The voice was obviously disappointed. After a moment of silence, she said faintly. Actually, I don't want to talk about this. I'm sick. A trace of worry appeared between Luli's eyebrows. Sick? What's wrong? I have a cold and a fever. My fever reached more than 40 degrees yesterday. It's a little better today, but it's still terrible. I don't have any friends in the country and can't find anyone to take care of me. It would be good if you could come to see me. Should she go back? Luli only hesitated for a second before making a choice. I've rushed back for too long. You should have other colleagues. They're all busy. Can't you come back? I can wait for you. Sorry, drink more water. I see. Then I won't disturb your work. On the other end of the phone, Tao Yanran smashed the phone as soon as she hung up. Bang, the phone screen shattered into pieces. Tao Yanran's face was red, but of course it was not because of the fever but because of anger. She had already pretended to be sick and said that her fever was more than 40 degrees, but Luli could still be so cruel to leave her alone. Damn it. Drink more water? Could he be more perfunctory? How was he different from those scumbags? He was now completely fascinated by Tao Yuan, that little vixen, and couldn't take a step away, right? She wouldn't give up just like that. Her eyes sharpened and she finally made up her mind to pick up another phone. She gritted her teeth and made a gloomy sound. Act according to the original plan. Tao Yuan came here on vacation in the name of inspection, but Lu Li didn't. He had a lot of work to deal with here and the afternoon was full. After the meeting it was already past 5 o'clock. He didn't know if that woman had woken up. At this time he was afraid to go too early and annoy her again. When did he consider the feelings of the other party when he did things? Lu Li himself was stunned. Was this still his style of being so timid and overcautious? Although it didn't feel good, he was willing to do it for that woman. As he turned the corner, Qiao Shan walked up to him. She was tall and charming and very eye-catching. She only wore a white short skirt with a deep V-neck under the fur coat, and her figure swayed. "Hi Boss Lu, what a coincidence." Qiao Shan pretended to meet him by chance. Lu Li nodded and was ready to leave. "Boss Lu, we just met, why don't we have a drink together? I wanted to talk to you about this year's endorsement." Lu Li thought that it was still early so he agreed. Qiao Shan suppressed her joy. After she found out about his schedule, she deliberately waited here for more than 2 hours. If he didn't agree it would be a waste of effort. More importantly, she still had a mission to complete. As soon as she sat down, Qiao Shan took off her fur coat. The heat in the restaurant was turned on so it wasn't too cold, but the short skirt still made her look a little thin. Lu Li lit a cigarette. "Aren't you cold?" "I often shoot summer scenes in winter so I'm used to it." Qiao Shan leaned forward and the right side of her face was facing him because that angle looked more beautiful. Lu Li ordered a bottle of red wine. "Boss Lu is Boss Lu, you have such good taste and this is also my favorite wine. There are many rich and powerful people but few people have power and taste. A man like Boss Lu is like a phoenix's feather, no wonder he became the president of Lu Enterprises at such a young age." Qiao Shan flattered him. Men all like the compliments of beautiful women. But this trick didn't work on Lu Li, he just raised his eyebrows and didn't respond. Qiao Shan picked up the wine glass and enjoyed the colorful red wine. His handsome face was more and more charming. He was a man with 360 degrees and no blind spots. Every angle had a different charm. His thin lips curled into a cold smile, making one yearn to conquer him, yearn to see his gentle side. Qiao Shan was tempted, if only this man belonged to her. Of course, this was just a fool's talk, she didn't think she was that charming. Qiao Shan let her imagination run wild, but she still calmed down. The most charming thing about a man is not his appearance or how much wealth he has, but his wisdom. Success is the crown of a man, and it is also the best weapon to conquer women. A man like Boss Lu must have many women chasing after him. Chapter 553. He didn't reply to her and continued to smoke in silence. This awkward silence made Qiao Shan feel awkward. She had never been treated so coldly by a man. But she could only bite the bullet and find a topic to talk about. "Mr. Lu seems to be in a bad mood today. Is there something bothering you? I'm a good listener." Her concern still couldn't open his heart. Qiao Shan continued. "A man like Mr. Lu definitely has nothing to worry about in his career. Then what about his relationship? Is he not on good terms with Mrs. Lu?" "How did you know?" His tone was cold but he finally spoke. Qiao Shan secretly heaved a sigh of relief. "That's what people say." "You believe what people say?" "Yes, it's normal. There are many marriages in the rich. To put it bluntly, a wife is just a standard for a rich man, just like an object. The more powerful a man is, the more important he is to a woman. How can a woman satisfy Mr. Lu? Moreover, men have always liked to seek thrills and continuously conquer different women." The more Qiao Shan spoke, the wilder her eyes became. She even used her leg to rub against Lu Li's thigh. He calmly puffed on his cigarette and narrowed his eyes as he looked at her meaningfully. His inscrutable expression made it hard to guess what he was thinking. He didn't reject her, no man could reject her, but at this moment Lu Li dodged. She lost her footing and almost fell. She was so scared that she held onto the table, looking very embarrassed. Under such circumstances, Lu Li's half-smile looked a little cruel. Qiao Shan tried to steady her breathing, but her body was still trembling. "You're right, men want to conquer. But if they care about the number of conquerors, then they are very ignorant. To me, conquering the woman I love is a success. No matter what the outside world says, my wife and I have a good relationship." Qiao Shan tried hard to think that he was acting, but a man like Lu Li would never lie, right? But how could he have true feelings? After finishing his cigarette, Luli put it out. As for the details of the endorsement, you should talk to the person in charge. Wait, Boss Lu. Let's have a drink. It's such a good wine, it's such a waste that you didn't even take a sip. Luli raised his glass as Qiao Shan stared at him nervously. But just as he was about to press his lips against hers, he suddenly stopped. Qiao Shan trembled in fear. Did she find out? I don't like this piano piece. Please ask the musician to change it. Qiao Shan looked as if she had walked through the gates of hell. Her expression was already very strained. All right. She asked the musician to change the song. When she came back, Luli drank a cup of wine with her. The drug will only take effect in 5 minutes. With this thought in mind, Qiao Shan got up and followed him. Boss Lu, I'll go with you. Tao Yuan slept until 6 o'clock and the sky was almost dark. It was all because the warm water bag was too comfortable that she fell asleep after reading for a while. The sky slowly darkened and all was quiet. A thin layer of loneliness covered her heart. At this time, people were especially weak and it was especially easy for them to feel lonely. It was so oppressive, as if they had been abandoned by the whole world. Tao Yuan was temporarily immersed in this thin layer of desolation, and then she laughed at herself for being too sentimental. Life was so beautiful, why should she be sad? Didn't Luli want to have dinner with her? Why wasn't he here yet? Wait, she was expecting him? How could that be? She couldn't wait to never see that annoying man again. He was originally a person without integrity, so it was normal for him to stand her up. Tao Yuan decided to enjoy a good dinner by herself. She got out of bed, washed up and changed her clothes. A man and a woman were kissing passionately in the corridor. The man's back was facing her. He was very tall, and his hand was forcefully stroking the woman's thigh. The woman was panting and the two of them kissed while retreating into the room. That was Qiao Shan's room. That Qiao Shan and that man was Luli. No wonder he stood her up, so he was busy here. Sarcasm, dissatisfaction, anger, and all sorts of emotions surged into Tao Yuan's heart. She knew that he was a beast and she didn't care which woman he slept with. What really made her angry was that he said one thing in front of her and another behind her back. When he was in front of her, he kept saying that he loved her, as if she was the only one in his life, and he didn't care about other women. But the moment he turned around, he kissed someone else passionately. It sounded better than a song. Her good mood was ruined by him. When it was time to eat, Tao Yuan was full of anger. The sound of the beef being cut made a zhi-zhi sound, and the customers at the next table couldn't help but turn to look at her. Bastard Luli. Bastard. Didn't we agree to have dinner together? Why did you come alone? I went to the room to look for you. Speak of the devil, and the man she was cursing was standing in front of her with a smile. He actually pretended as if nothing had happened. His acting was really good. Tao Yuan almost grabbed the cup of water and threw it at his face. She didn't do that because she didn't want to argue with a scumbag. The more turbulent her heart was, the calmer Tao Yuan appeared to be. You said it yourself, I didn't agree. But you didn't object either. I just couldn't be bothered to talk to you. Luli looked at the steak that was cut into a horrible shape and raised his eyebrows. So cruel? Who made you angry this time? You couldn't have stood me up because of a misunderstanding, right? Have you been waiting for me? Of course not, I didn't treat it as a promise. It's just that the steak is hard to cut. Oh, Luli called the waiter over and said, give me a steak that's as hard to cut as hers. Okay, please wait a moment. Tao Yuan tried very hard to suppress her anger, but when she saw his nonchalant look, she couldn't help but get angry. He came looking for her the moment he got out of the bed of that little vixen. What did he take her for? Was she a spare tire or a toy? How could there be such a shameless man? His skin was thicker than the city wall. Damn it. She couldn't help but become rough when she cut the steak. Luli pitied the poor steak and teased. Are all women on their period so irritable? That's right. So you'd better not provoke me or this knife won't be cutting on the steak but on your body. Luli raised his hands in surrender. I don't dare to provoke you. The steak was served and the man slowly enjoyed it. The strong smell of gunpowder on the opposite side did not affect his mood. He had long been used to her terrible temper. Is your stomach still uncomfortable? Very good, thank you for your concern. Go back and drink a glass of brown sugar water. Do you want me to make it for you? No, I have my own hands. You have to make a hot water bag. Oh, I know. Her reply was cold and indifferent, and there was even a hint of anger in it. Luli felt like all of his concern had been bounced back by an invisible wall. He had been too nosy. Their relationship was not so stiff in the morning, so what did he do wrong? Tao Yuan finished the steak and was about to leave when Lu Li reached out to pull her. She didn't say anything and just looked at him quietly. I only have a very simple question. He paused for a while before asking. How did I offend you? No, you didn't offend me in any way. Then why are you always cold to me? Don't you know how to be gentle? I don't know how to be gentle. Tao Yuan smiled. That's because I've never been treated gently, so I don't know what is gentle. I'm treating you like this now. Acting. She corrected him. To be precise, what you're doing is acting. After saying that, she pushed his arm away and left in a carefree manner. Lu Li sat in the same place and didn't leave. He slowly finished the steak and drank a glass of red wine. His eyes, as time passed, became more and more profound. He was determined to conquer this wild horse. One night later, when Xiao Shan woke up, she found that the man lying next to her was not Lu Li, but a fat manager who had been drooling over her for a long time. She almost went crazy on the spot. She quickly chased him away and tried to recall what happened. Yesterday, she followed that person's instructions and drugged Lu Li's wine, then left with him. But not long after, she started to feel dizzy, then she met that fat manager and then, so disgusting she couldn't bear to think about it. She wouldn't feel dizzy for no reason, let alone with a fat man. Last night's situation was more like she was drugged. But she was the one who was drugged in Lu Li's wine. How could she be the one who was drugged? Could it be, he changed the wine glass? Just when Xiao Shan was still in shock, her phone rang. She gritted her teeth and pressed the call button reluctantly. Miss Tao, is it done? I'm sorry. The atmosphere on the other end suddenly turned cold. What do you mean by sorry? It's not done? Boss Lu seems to know that I drugged him and changed the wine glass. Last night I was... Before Xiao Shan could complain, the person on the other end cursed. How did he find out? You idiot, don't you have a brain? Xiao Shan was already furious after suffering a loss. She opened her mouth and wanted to curse back, but she didn't dare to, so she held it in. I don't know either. You don't know? You don't know anything. You can't even do such a small thing. Why don't you go and die? Boss Lu is too smart. You didn't betray me, did you? No, I swear. I'm really sorry. I also... Alright, there's no point in saying anything now. If you can't deal with him, then you can do your best to make things difficult for Tao Yuan. But what should I do? Do you need me to teach you such a small thing? Don't pretend in front of me. You're in the entertainment industry, don't you know how to make things difficult for others? Anyway, think of a way to deal with her. It's best if you piss her off. Yes, I got it. If you mess this up again, I'll make you disappear from the entertainment industry completely. After warning her, Tao Yanran hung up the phone angrily. She was originally very unwilling to let a bust seduce her man, but she had been forced by Tao Yuan to the point where she had no other choice. As long as she could hurt her, she would do anything. But she didn't expect that she would fail at the last moment. Chapter 554. The next day the weather was even warmer. Tao Yuan went to the beach early in the morning to bask in the sun. Unfortunately, Xiao Shan was there too. Lying on the lounge chair, her figure was so sexy that even women couldn't help but have a nosebleed. No wonder Lu Li couldn't help it. Thinking of the kiss yesterday, Tao Yuan felt like she had swallowed a fly. It was very uncomfortable. She lay on the lounge chair to rest and put on her sunglasses. But Xiao Shan soon noticed her and took the initiative to greet her. Hi Manager Tao, what a coincidence. Tao Yuan just smiled politely. Can you help me put on sunscreen? Although it was a question, Xiao Shan's tone was obviously commanding. Tao Yuan was also a person with a temper. She thought to herself, why should I listen to her, so she replied. I think there will be someone else who is more willing to do it for you. Who are you talking about? Tao Yuan replied with a smile that said, you know what I mean. Xiao Shan turned over and sat up lazily looking at the sea. The sea breeze blew her long hair, making her look even more languid and sexy. I'm a little thirsty, please get me a bottle of wine. The beach was at least 10 minutes away from the hotel. Of course, Tao Yuan was unwilling and directly refused. You have your own hands and feet, why don't you go by yourself? I want to enjoy the sun here. I am here to enjoy the sun, not to work for others. Xiao Shan smiled charmingly. You are here with a job. But my job is not to serve you. Not wanting to be entangled with her, Tao Yuan planned to find a quiet place, but Xiao Shan suddenly said. What? Am I not qualified to order you around? Lu Grant. She said this extremely sarcastically, full of mockery. But Tao Yuan didn't even frown. Instead, she was not angry but smiled. Since you know that I am Mrs. Liu, then you really can't order me around. Ah, I can't order the favored Mrs. Liu around. But Mrs. Liu in the cold palace, that's another matter. I was speaking kindly, but I didn't expect your tone to be so harsh. What? Are you jealous of Boss Liu and me? In the past 2 years he has had so many women outside. Even if you wanted to be jealous, you wouldn't be able to eat all of them. Why do you have to target me? You misunderstand. I don't have the time to be jealous. I just don't like dealing with people who don't know themselves. You're the one who doesn't know your place. No matter what, I'm my husband's new lover. I'm the one who's most spoiled. It's not too much to ask you to do some work for me, right? Tao Yuan shook her head and sighed. The three of them are really more arrogant than the last. They even want to ride on the head of the main wife. They really don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. You small-time celebrities date rich men not only for the money, but also because you want to marry into a wealthy family one day and become a phoenix. Women like you are like moths to a flame. There are as many as the hairs on an ox, but only a few can succeed. If I let you order me around, then you would be the one sitting in the position of Mrs. Liu right now, not me. No matter what, I'm stronger than you. Since when did you get this idea? Do you think this is the feudal era? Qiao Shan retorted sarcastically. You can't keep your husband's heart. It's useless even if you occupy the position of Mrs. Liu. Your husband sleeps with different women every day. You're a joke. Do you know that? If Mrs. Liu is just a joke, then why are there so many women who want to sit in this position? For example, you provoke me for no reason. Isn't that just jealousy? Without waiting for Qiao Shan to refute, Tao Yuan shook her finger lazily. All right. I've seen too many small-time celebrities like you. You all say the same thing. I can't be bothered to talk nonsense with you. To be honest, I'm not jealous at all. No matter what happened between you and my husband, it's no different from prostitution. You're just playing the role of a prostitute. Whether it's you or someone else, I don't care at all. After all, there are so many women who provoke me. Who do you think you are? If you want to be proud of your status, I can only sympathize with you. And your provocation to me is just a sign of low EQ and IQ. Usually, I just ignore people like that. Tao Yuan stood up and stretched. She squinted comfortably under the sunlight. I'm going to enjoy my holiday. Qiao Shan was so angry that her hair stood on end. There was a meeting that afternoon. It was the signing ceremony for Qiao Shan to officially become the spokesperson of the resort. Originally, it had nothing to do with Tao Yuan. But when the other party asked her to attend, she knew that it was nothing good. Sure enough, Qiao Shan suddenly went back on her words. I refuse to be the spokesperson. The executives of the resort looked at each other. They didn't know what was going on. Didn't we basically come to an agreement before? What's going on? Qiao Shan played with her freshly done nails and said indifferently. Nothing, I just don't want to. There are many celebrities fighting to be our spokesperson. There are some who are more famous than you. Oh, then go find them. The executives were angry. Is it about the endorsement fee? There's no problem in that area. Then why? I'm not satisfied with your staff. Qiao Shan put down her hand and looked at Tao Yuan. As a manager, your attitude towards people is so bad. This gives me a very bad impression of your resort. So, I refuse to be your spokesperson. If you want to know the details, then go directly to Manager Tao. More than 10 pairs of eyes looked at Tao Yuan at the same time, but she was very calm. With a formal smile on her face, she shrugged. I don't know what you're talking about. This morning on the beach, I asked you to help me nicely, but you actually used words to humiliate me. That's too much. This was called the guilty party complaining first. Tao Yuan just thought it was ridiculous. Then tell me, how did I humiliate you? You know very well, but you still called me a prostitute. I was just using an analogy. You compared me to a prostitute. What's the difference between that and directly scolding me? I know that women's jealousy is terrible. I really don't know how such a big hotel like Wilton can accommodate such a narrow-minded woman like you. Tao Yuan clapped her hands in praise. You're a star. I can only say that I admire your ability to invert right and wrong. No matter what, you shouldn't bring personal grudges to work. Let's talk about work first. Can we deal with the other things in private? Qiao Shan leaned forward and spat out 2 words with a fake smile. No. The atmosphere in the meeting room was at an impasse. The supervisors all looked at Tao Yuan, not knowing what was going on. They had never interacted with Tao Yuan before, so they knew nothing about her character. They just had a good impression of her, so they didn't believe that she would call someone a prostitute. Of course, at this juncture they didn't want to know the truth. They just wanted to quickly solve this problem. Miss Chow, is there a misunderstanding? Supervisor A asked. There's no misunderstanding. I have no grudges against her. Why would I accuse her? I don't know the specifics. But what Manager Tao said makes sense. After all, this is your private matter. There's no need to affect work. There are so many endorsements for me. I don't need one more. Xiao Shan put on a cold front. She crossed her arms over her chest and said arrogantly, I am a person with a bottom line. Anyway, if she doesn't apologize today, there's no need to talk about the endorsement. The supervisors were definitely unhappy. With the company's strength, there were naturally many other choices for the endorsements. But they were about to sign the contract and it would take a long time to choose a new one. Of course, they wanted to avoid trouble. It was just an apology. It wasn't a big deal. Supervisor A could only say to Tao Yuan, Manager Tao, why don't you just apologize? Manager Tao, why don't you just apologize? There are still a lot of things to do. If it was any other time, Tao Yuan might focus on work. After all, she wouldn't lose a piece of meat if she apologized. But when she thought of her and Lu Li kissing passionately, she couldn't help but get angry. It's not my fault. I will never apologize. It's not your fault? You dare to say that you didn't call me a prostitute? You know very well what the truth is. I don't care. Anyway, you scolded me. You have to apologize. Otherwise, there's no need to talk about the endorsement. The two of them spoke one after another. The supervisors were having a headache. They didn't care about the truth. They all wanted Tao Yuan to apologize. Manager Tao, it's already like this. Don't say anything. Yeah, it's not a big deal to apologize. Work is the priority. No matter how they tried to persuade her, Tao Yuan had already made up her mind. She only had one sentence. I won't apologize. If you don't apologize, I won't endorse. Up to you. The two of them were in a deadlock until Lu Li walked in. He immediately smelled the atmosphere and asked, What's going on? The supervisor walked over trembling and explained the matter. He was expressionless, but the temperature of the whole meeting room dropped. Xiao Shan felt that she was in trouble. She thought that Lu Li would not come in person for such a small matter. That was why she dared to be so arrogant. He knew that she had schemed against him. He would definitely not help her. He was dead meat. In his heart he started to beat like a drum. Tao Yuan, on the other hand, was fearless. He could do whatever he wanted. Even if he did something to her for his new lover, she wouldn't be surprised. After all, it wasn't the first time. However, she felt that he might be doing something different now. After all, he still had to act. So, it was hard to say how he would deal with it. Lu Li raised his hand to stop the supervisor from continuing. He saw that Tao Yuan didn't look too good and guessed what was going on. Wasn't all the scheming and jealousy between women the same thing? If she doesn't apologize, you refuse to be the endorser. Is that it? His deep voice was questioning. Xiao Shan was so stressed that she didn't know how to answer. Is that it? He asked again. Her body suddenly trembled. Call Chen Ming from Xinghe Entertainment and ask her to come and sign the contract now. Xiao Shan's face turned pale and she stood up anxiously. Boss Lu, don't be like this. Her smile was uglier than crying. No, it's not necessary, actually. Chen Ming was her competitor. If Chen Ming snatched the endorsement, the company would definitely kill her. She just wanted to embarrass Tao Yuan, but she still wanted to be the endorser. Chapter 555. I was just having a fit, I wasn't clear-headed. I'm sorry, it's my fault. Please forgive me. I won't dare to do it again. Her eyes were red and she looked like she was about to cry, looking pitiful. The male supervisors felt sorry for her, but Lu Li's face was as cold as ever. The one you should apologize to is someone else. Xiao Shan bit her lips and apologized unwillingly. Manager Tao, it's my fault. Before Tao Yuan could speak, Lu Li said first. I can't hear any sincerity from this apology. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, Xiao Shan cried, feeling wronged. This was a great humiliation to her. Tao Yuan didn't feel anything. Xiao Shan was an actress, she could cry easily. Although she was crying, she had already cursed her 10,000 times in her heart. But if she continued to argue with her in front of so many people, it would be too petty. Magnanimous forgiveness was the way to behave. So she smiled. It's okay, it's not a big deal, just remember it in the future. Everyone thought that this was the end of the matter, but Lu Li continued. Didn't you hear me asking you to contact Qin Meng? The supervisor was stunned for a moment, then nodded. Yes, I'll go now. Xiao Shan was stunned, her face was full of tears and she sobbed. Didn't I already apologize? Manager Tao forgave you, but it doesn't mean that I forgive you. First, you shouldn't be so arrogant, and second, I won't allow anyone to bully my people. Tao Yuan's heart trembled. He said that she was his person? What, she wasn't his person, Xiao Shan was? Yesterday they were just intimate and today he turned his spear against her. This man was really too cruel. Sure enough, as long as she slept with him, he would trample on her like trash. If he conquered her heart, he would do the same to her. Tao Yuan warned herself again in her heart, she must not fall, otherwise the humiliation that Xiao Shan suffered today would also happen to her. Qin Ming arrived 2 hours later. After signing the contract, Tao Yuan returned to her room. Just as she sat down, the doorbell rang. Lu Li stood at the door with a heroic spirit. His eyebrows were like swords and his eyes sparkled. Tao Yuan held the door with one hand and looked vigilant. What can I do for you? Aren't you going to invite me in? No. I helped you just now. You owe me a thank you. How shameless must a person be to say such a thing? Tao Yuan couldn't help but shake her head. If one day you stop causing trouble for me, maybe I'll say thank you. So you're saying that it's my fault that Xiao Shan caused trouble for you? There's no need to say it too clearly. It's fine as long as you understand. She was about to close the door, but Lu Li blocked it with one hand and squeezed in with both legs. Tao Yuan retreated too hastily and sprained her ankle. She fell backwards and was pulled back by him. The man's strong arms circled around her waist. Her face instantly turned red. She reached out to push him and at the same time twisted her body. What are you doing? Let go. I'm helping you out of kindness. Do you need to resist me like this? Are you a hedgehog? I don't want to be touched by you. Let go of me. Regardless of whether it was useful or not, Tao Yuan still struggled with all her might. But the more she struggled, the more his hand touched her back and rubbed intensely. Lu Li, what are you doing? Don't bother me even if your brain is filled with lust. She was so angry that her teeth were trembling. But Lu Li's smile became deeper. What is this? Tell me, what is this? Bastard, stinking hooligan. Tao Yuan scolded. The corridor was very narrow. The door was still open and footsteps could be heard. This made Tao Yuan even more anxious. Someone will see, you're my wife. So what if someone sees? You're shameless, but I'm shameless. If you have something to say, just say it. Don't touch me. I don't like to be stuck in a corner with you. You don't like it? I like it very much. He lowered his head and just happened to be beside her ear. His gaze fell on her white earlobe. It was like a pearl, pink and beautiful. Who asked your body to be so soft and smell so good? When he spoke, he was so close that Tao Yuan could hear the choking sound in his throat. It was like a dangerous beast. Her little hand pressed against his muscular chest, trying in vain to pull away. She felt very helpless, very frightened and very angry. But all those emotions were useless because she was his prey. Her feelings were not important. What was important was how he wanted to deal with her. Don't say such disgusting words. You're a stinking hooligan, Tao Yuan scolded. Go away. Someone will see, Lu Li. He kicked the door shut and at the same time he turned around and pressed her against the door. With a bang, the door closed and she also experienced a short period of dizziness. You're not afraid now, right? He pressed against her body. Her face was red and her heart was about to jump out of her throat. The circle he had formed was filled with his aura. It was restless, passionate and could make one go crazy. Tao Yuan was originally afraid of being seen, but now she realized that it was even more dangerous to be locked up with him. In this room he could do whatever he wanted. His gaze was burning hot like an X-ray. Tao Yuan did not dare to look at him directly and kept avoiding his gaze. She refused to look at him, afraid that she would be melted by his gaze. She who was stuck in the corner was useless, weak and helpless. She was clearly very angry and wronged, but she could not vent it out. She had to grit her teeth and endure it because this man did not have the slightest bit of sympathy. Her fear and tears would only make him more excited. Tao Yuan, who was pressed against the door, trembled and swallowed with difficulty. She wanted to ask for help, but she did not dare to scream and could only try her best to avoid his gaze. Why don't you dare to look at me? Lu Li grabbed her chin and forced her to look at him. What are you afraid of? I am not afraid. I just think you're disgusting and don't want to see you. Don't want to see me again? Weren't you fine 2 days ago? Why are you throwing a tantrum now? His tone was doting, as if he was coaxing a little pet. That kind of gentleness could give people goosebumps. However, Tao Yuan was more resistant, which made her feel disgusted. I don't have time to throw a tantrum with you. I've hated you for a long time and I've never been good to you. I don't think so. Answer me, how did I offend you? Let's have a good chat, okay? I have nothing to talk to you about. Let go of me. Tao Yuan struggled a few times, but those 2 fingers held her chin tightly and refused to let go. He even deliberately moved his fingers as if he was flirting, which really made her feel helpless. What do you want? Her face was pinched by him, so she could only stare at him with her eyes wide open. To her, this was a sign of anger. However, to Lu Li, her eyes were alive when she was angry and she was livelier than usual. He did not like to quarrel with her, but he liked to see her cute look when she was angry. I'm here to make peace with you. His voice was lazy and he was smiling. I'm not angry with you, but we can never coexist peacefully. Give up. If your temper wasn't so bad, it would be possible. Why don't you look at yourself now, pressing me in the corner like a barbarian and saying all these strange and annoying things? Can I treat you calmly? Don't you know that you deserve a beating and are very annoying? If you want to coexist peacefully, then stay away from me. Don't cause trouble for me, you're very perverted. Who told you to be so tempting? I can't control myself. His face was a bit closer and he could kiss her lips at any time. Tao Yuan's heart was in her throat, and she fiercely gritted her teeth. Go find your Xiao Shan, don't come to me and act crazy. Didn't Xiao Shan already leave? Then find Chen Meng or another woman, anyone is fine, but I don't have time to deal with you. That's strange, I only want you. Why do you always push other women to me? You seem to have a big problem with Xiao Shan? What a joke, what problem can I have with her? The scene of the 2 of them kissing flashed before her eyes, and the anger in Tao Yuan's heart began to boil again, and she sarcastically retorted. I have to thank her for serving you, saving me trouble. When did she serve me? How come I don't know? Tao Yuan rolled her eyes, she really admired his ability to lie with his eyes open. You know this in your heart, I don't need to say it too clearly. I don't know it all, can you explain it to me? Lu Li, I originally thought you were magnanimous, but I didn't expect you to be so shameless. You dare to do it, but you don't dare to admit it? It's just sleeping with a woman, it's not a big deal, why don't you admit it? It's indeed not a big deal, but why should I admit something I didn't do? You still say you didn't, I saw it all. Tao Yuan shouted loudly. I saw you 2 kissing, it was at the door of her room. Her chest violently rose and fell, she finally broke through and her reaction was very intense. This anger had been suppressed in her stomach for too long, and now it burst out. Lu Li silently looked at her for a while, and suddenly burst out in laughter. Tao Yuan was even more angry, he still had the face to laugh? What are you laughing at? I was wondering why you suddenly lost your temper, so it's because you're jealous. I'm jealous? Are you crazy? She agitatedly retorted in a shrill voice. I can't wait for you to not bother me with other women, how can I be jealous for you? Don't be too narcissistic. Do you know? When people feel guilty, they will raise their voice very high, just like you right now. You're like an angry little wild cat. His tone was very lingering, causing Tao Yuan to tremble uncontrollably. She really couldn't stand this kind of flirting, it made her feel uncomfortable all over and gave her goosebumps. Stay away from me. I'm not jealous, I just hate it when you touch me with dirty hands that have touched other women, I just feel disgusted. Chapter 556. I haven't touched any other woman, he murmured as though he was swearing. Do you think I'm blind? I clearly saw you enter her room. Maybe there were other men, but it definitely wasn't me. Yesterday she drugged my wine and I exchanged wine glasses with her. Maybe the drug took effect and she slept with another man? These words sounded very nonsensical, but the voice that came from above her head had a convincing power. At least from his tone, it didn't sound like he was lying. Do you think I'm a 3-year-old child? Because of nervousness, her voice was trembling. I'm not lying to you. Every word is true. His body continued to embed into her body, messing up her breathing. I hate being schemed against, but I should thank her for scheming against me and letting me know that you're jealous. Do you know? I'm very happy. His gentleness was hard for Tao Yuan to resist. She could still resist when he was domineering, but once he started to act like a rogue, she really couldn't do anything. Her body wriggled in vain, but the more she struggled, the deeper he penetrated and easily controlled her. Her breathing was extremely messy. I'll say it again, I'm not jealous. Don't say such strange things again. Your emotions are written all over your face. Not only are you jealous, but you're also jealous fiercely. But you can swallow your worries back into your stomach? Right now, only you can satisfy me, so I won't touch other women, definitely not. I don't care if you touch. Her lips were firmly blocked. Just as she was about to push him, he had already grabbed both her wrists and locked them by her sides. He kissed her intensely and passionately like a storm, as if he wanted to squeeze everything out of her. Tao Yuan only felt the world was spinning, her lips were boiling hot as if they were on fire. By the time he was done, she was already panting and her face was flushed red from holding back. He stopped right above her. His brows were relaxed and his eyes were filled with a satisfied smile. His eyes were as bright as the stars, making her feel dizzy. I'm really happy, he said in a deep and serious tone. I like it when you're jealous of me. You're talking nonsense. Tao Yuan exploded. There must be something wrong with your brain. You lunatic. Don't bother me anymore. Shoo, why are you shouting so loudly? Are you afraid that others don't know what we're doing? Do you want everyone to come and see it? He was like a fox, constantly rubbing her body, feeling that her body was as hot as his. Do you feel how much I want you? A man who wants to have sex with a woman is no different from an animal. I'm not. I only want to have sex with you. I want it so much that I'm going crazy. He seemed like he would swallow her at any time. Such words of love could easily make people confused. Tao Yuan was so nervous that she didn't know what to do. Her palms were constantly sweating. Luli. Let me, baby, you shouldn't be so sexy. With one hand holding her and pressing her against him, Tao Yuan felt as if she was about to melt. Tao, at this moment, Luli's lips fell on her ear. He smiled and blew a hot breath into her ear. Right at that moment, Luli's lips landed on her ears. He put on a smile and breathed some warm air into her ear. Tao Yuan's face suddenly flushed red as she cursed. You're shameless. His lips moved slightly and he let out a deep laugh. You're so cute. Of course, it's normal that you can't accept it now. But I'll teach you slowly. You still have a lot to learn. Tao Yuan tried to slap him, but Luli stopped her. She twisted a few times. Let me go. I can let you go, but don't hide from me and be angry with me, okay? I hate you. Luli shrugged. Then I don't mind if we continue to waste time like this. Are you threatening me? Despicable. I said, I just want to make up with you. If you forgive me, I'll let you go. Or, you continue to be angry and we'll continue to waste time like this, or maybe we'll go deeper. Which one will you choose? Tao Yuan was very angry with him, but she couldn't do anything. She really had no way to deal with such a shameless man. She could only compromise. Okay, I can't be bothered to be angry with people like you. Let go. In the first-class cabin of the plane. Miss, your ticket has been dropped. Pan Chi turned around and a handsome mixed-race gentleman picked up the ticket and handed it to her. Her eyes lit up and she looked at him again. He was dressed like a business elite, but it could be seen that under the white shirt was a very strong figure. Bright smile like the Californian sun, snow-white teeth, gentlemanly demeanor, strong figure. He was completely Pan Chi's cup of tea. Thank you. The mixed-race man was obviously very interested in her. Before the plane took off, he took the initiative to talk to her. What are you going to do? To find a friend. Pan Chi replied. She had received a call from Tao Yuan yesterday, saying that she was going on a business trip with Luli. From her tone, it seemed that she had been bullied by that bastard. She was afraid that she would be bullied, so she immediately booked a ticket. Oh, I'm going on a business trip. Which country are you mixed race? Spain, the United States, China. Spain? I stayed there for a few years. I'm from Complutense University in Madrid. What a coincidence, me too. The two of them were from the same university and had many topics to talk about. The more they talked, the more they got along. Pan Chi was secretly happy about this encounter when she was suddenly kissed on the face from behind. She was shocked and turned around, covering her face. A beast in human clothing stood in front of her. Lin Yuqing? Baby. Lin Yuqing blinked and called out softly, his pair of peach blossom eyes glancing at the mixed-race man sadly. Who is he? Your new lover? Pan Chi didn't know what he was trying to do and was speechless. Pan Chi cursed in her heart, what the hell? What the hell are you talking about? Don't talk nonsense, okay? The air stewardess and the mixed-race man's gazes made her feel very awkward. They must have thought that she was a lonely woman looking for a date. You guys talk slowly, I'll go back to my seat first. The mixed-race man stood up. It's not like that, he's talking nonsense. Yes, I know. Pan Chi couldn't explain herself. Lin Yuqing's lips curled up and he squeezed her into the seat inside. Excuse me, this is my seat. A gust of wind blew over, and he easily grabbed her wrist with a faint smile. What? You want to hit me again? Do I have the words "you can hit me as you please" written on my face? Lin. Ching. Pan Chi gritted her teeth. Bastard. Sho, lower your voice. This is a public place, mind your image. You're already so shameless and you're telling me to mind my image? Pan Chi was trembling with anger. Is it fun to prank? Only a despicable man would think of such a lousy trick like pretending to be a date. The corners of Lin Yuqing's mouth curled up. I think it's quite fun. You idiot, get lost. This is my seat, where do you want me to go? Pan Chi admitted that she was unlucky. If you're not leaving, I'll leave. The plane is about to take off, what are you doing? Hurry up and sit properly. The man was very strong and he pulled her back to her seat. Pan Chi tried to get up several times but was pulled back several times. She was very angry. Hey, I can go wherever I want, who are you to control me? We're together now. You're my client. I have to serve you at all times. Lin Yuqing winked with a smirk. You're such a jerk. You're the one who provoked me first. Do you think I can let a woman hit me? I've said it before, I'll definitely settle this score with you. Pan Chi rolled her eyes fiercely. You're so vengeful, you're a man. It's because I'm a man that I can't let you hit me for nothing. We're even now. Lin Yuqing sat down calmly and let out a sigh of relief. He was in a very good mood. You win, let's wait and see. Pan Chi gave him the middle finger and ignored him. It was too ungraceful for a girl to give him the middle finger. But this devil had been so barbaric since junior high. If she wanted to be gentle, she wouldn't be Pan Chi. Lin Yuqing shook his head. He had seen too many beauties of all shapes and sizes, but even with his extremely picky eyes, Pan Chi was still a top-notch beauty. After all, she was the daughter of a wealthy family. Although she was barbaric, she was still very noble. Which man would not go crazy for her? Lin Yuqing's throat was a little hot and his mind was full of wild thoughts. Soon, Pan Chi felt two hot eyes which she was very familiar with. She turned her head and stared at them. Sure enough, Lin Yuqing was staring at her chest, so she quickly covered it. What are you looking at? She put up two fingers to his eyes. Lin Yuqing easily blocked it with his palm and ridiculed her. You don't want to be seen by men, why are you wearing so revealing clothes? Pan Chi's dressing style was relatively bold, but it was not revealing. This bastard took advantage of her and pushed the responsibility to her. It was too shameless. Can't I have big breasts? Yes. You have big breasts. You have the final say. Lin Yuqing chuckled and mumbled softly. Don't women have big breasts for men to see? Do they admire it themselves? Straight man cancer. What are you going to do? What does it have to do with you? Oh, I know, even if you don't tell me. You're going to find my sister-in-law? Then let's go. I'm also going to the resort. What? Is there a party at the resort? You and Lu Li are indeed brothers. You're in cahoots with each other. You're all up to no good. Hey. You can talk about me. Why do you have to talk about my big brother? Look at you. TSK. You're cheap. Pan Chi said with disdain. Are you Lu Li's lackey? But he's not here now. You don't have to rush to suck up to him. What lackey? We're brothers. You guys are in cahoots. You're nothing. Lu Li is even worse. I'm going there this time to not stop him from bullying my Yuan. When did you become so nosy, you meddlesome woman? Pan Chi's eyes widened and she frowned. You actually called me a meddlesome woman? Isn't meddling in other people's family affairs a meddlesome woman? I advise you not to do such a thankless thing. Otherwise, if they reconcile, you'll be in trouble. They reconcile? How is that possible? My Yuan isn't blind. Now it's Lu Li who refuses to divorce. Why don't you persuade him to stop pestering you? Just think of it as accumulating good karma for yourself. They won't divorce. Who said it's impossible? I think they're going to get divorced. Oh? Want to bet? Of course, Pan Chi was not afraid of him. Let's bet. Why should I be afraid of you? What do you want to bet? If I win, then you let me sleep. What if I lose? Lin Yuqing spread his hands and narrowed his peach blossom eyes. Chapter 557. Pan Chi realized that she was fooled and spat. Shameless, who wants to sleep with you? There are many women who want to sleep with me. If you don't make this bet with me, Don't even think about sleeping with me in this lifetime. Hee hee, you speak as if I really want to sleep with you. I'm afraid of getting sick. What sickness? An addiction disease? Pan Chi made a stop gesture. Don't talk to me, I don't want to listen. Look at you, you're not bad looking, but why is your temper so bad? With someone like you, which man would dare to want you in the future? Hee hee, that's not something you need to worry about. No matter which man I'm with, it's not you. That's for the best. I'm afraid that you'll fall for this young master. Even if you give me someone like you, I won't want you. Give you? Dream on. Even if all the men in this world die, I won't be with you. If that's the case, why do you think I'll choose you? Pan Chi gritted her teeth. Despicable. During dinner time, the doorbell of Tao Yuan's room rang. Opening the door, it was a certain peacock man. He was holding a rose in his mouth, standing at the door with his arms crossed, thinking that he was handsome. Towards his repeated harassment, she expressed that she was very helpless. What are you acting this time? For you. Lu Li passed the rose to her. Can you do me the honor of having dinner together? Can I refuse? We've just reconciled. I think we should have dinner together to celebrate. Tao Yuan shook her head. I don't think this is something worth celebrating. I didn't agree to live peacefully with you voluntarily, I was forced. Whether it's voluntary or forced, life and marriage have to continue. There's no need to make things difficult for yourself, right? Furthermore, you're at the resort now, you should enjoy your vacation. I originally planned to do so, but unfortunately, it's completely ruined. Then let me make up for it. Lu Li smiled, the gentleness in his eyes was invisible. I've been working hard to repair our relationship. Can't you see my sincerity? I didn't see the sincerity, but I saw the madness. Lonely and empty, and suddenly interested in a wife who went through hardships? Could it be that Tao Yanran can no longer bring you a sense of novelty? You can interpret it however you want. Right now, you are the only woman in my eyes. Lu Li's eyes were burning with passion as he confessed. Tao Yuan had to admit that his gaze was indeed very moving. She almost fell for it. However, once bitten, twice shy. If she believed what he said, then she would be a fool. You don't even dare to have a meal with me. Are you so afraid of me, or are you afraid that you will fall into my charm? Tao Yuan looked at it seriously. Charm? Where is it? Why didn't I see any of that? I only saw her pestering me. A woman you truly like is worth pursuing relentlessly. Give me a chance, okay? I won't let you down. Only when you have hope will you be disappointed, but I don't have any for you, so there is no disappointment. But since you are so thick-skinned, I don't seem to have any room to refuse. Tao Yuan smiled. I'll take it as a banquet at Fu Hong Men. At night, the bustling beach was quiet and empty. The candlelight dinner was ready, the violin musicians played live, and the coast was lit up. Seeing the situation, Tao Yuan couldn't help but tease. This banquet at Fu Hong Men is a bit too romantic. If the atmosphere is not romantic, how can I eat you? Lu Li kissed her from behind her ear. Pulling out the chair in a gentlemanly manner, Tao Yuan sat down. The grape wine, the gentle sea breeze, such an atmosphere was slightly intoxicating. Which woman didn't like romance? Even she couldn't help but feel a little smug. Of course, it was purely because of the atmosphere, and it had nothing to do with the man opposite. Seeing that the atmosphere was good, Lu Li took the opportunity to say, "You see, it's not difficult to coexist peacefully, right?" She raised her eyebrows. "That depends on your performance." As soon as she smiled at him, Lu Li felt sweetness coming from all parts of his heart, almost drowning him. Probably because he was used to being abused by her when her attitude was a little better, he was so touched that he almost wagged his tail. Lu Li, ah Lu Li, you've fallen into the hands of this woman. As long as you give me a chance, I will definitely perform well. Cheers to coexist peacefully. He raised his glass. Cheers. The two goblets clinked, making a crisp sound. Looking at her through the scarlet red wine, she looked even more beautiful. The red wine was a little bitter, but it became extremely sweet in the mouth, and the sweetness spread from the throat to the rest of the body. Just one sip and he felt a little tipsy. When the wine was almost finished, Lu Li got up and walked to her, half bent over, and stretched out a hand. May I have the honor to dance with you? Tao Yuan was not a pretentious woman. She put down the wine glass and put her hand in his palm. The soft skin, the warm temperature made Lu Li infatuated. He held it and did not want to let go for the rest of his life. Gently he held it. The two danced to the music, hugged her, and felt her fragrance. Lu Li became more and more intoxicated, and his hands uncontrollably slipped to her waist. His hands wrapped around her waist and he gently pressed her against him. Tao Yuan's body tensed up and she had some resistance. The atmosphere just now was just right, so she did not reject him, but it did not mean that she could be so intimate with him. You don't talk, let me hug you for a while. His gentle voice melted her strength. Her body was still a little stiff, but she did not push anymore. She was really not used to this kind of harmony. It was very strange and she felt uncomfortable all over. But at the same time, it was difficult for her to resist such gentleness. After all, women were easily soft-hearted. No matter how much they hated each other, at a certain moment, they would want to let down their guard in resistance because of long-term fatigue, and temporarily numb themselves. Most importantly, this man was after all Lu Li. She had loved him for more than 10 years, and both her body and heart had long developed a kind of dependence on him. She was like a bug in a spider's web. No matter how much she struggled, she had already fallen into his inescapable net. The more she resisted, the tighter she was stuck. On the other side, Pan Chi arrived at the resort and could not get through to Tao Yuan's phone. She was anxious to look for her everywhere. Lin Yuqing had been following her like a shadow, and she could not get rid of him. Hey, why do you keep following me? Don't you find it annoying? Do I? Lin Yuqing looked innocent. Is the resort yours? What right do you have to say that I'm following you? Speaking of which, I have shares here and it's my territory. I can go wherever I want and it's none of your business. You, Pan Chi clenched her teeth and really wanted to slap that face that was pretending to be innocent. Handsome? So what if he was handsome? The more handsome he was, the more despicable he was. I know where you want to go. You want to destroy the relationship between husband and wife, right? I won't let you get away with it. Lin Yuqing followed behind her, nagging and criticizing her. I say it's fine if you have a bad temper, but why do you always like to meddle in other people's family affairs? Your heart is dark and you can't bear to see others doing well, right? My heart is dark? Pan Chi pointed at herself and sneered as she rolled her eyes. Do you think Yuan can be good with that bastard? This is called saving women who have lost their footing and preventing them from getting hurt. In your eyes, does Tao Yuan not have a brain? Does she not know how to judge good and bad? If she had a brain, would she have liked Lu Li for more than 10 years? Do you know how much she has suffered all these years and how bitter her life has been? You haven't seen her commit suicide and soak in the bathtub with blood all over her body, so of course you can speak without feeling pain. After a few years, every time she thought of that bloody scene, Pan Chi's eyes would turn red. Lin Yuqing was also quite upset. He could understand Pan Chi's feelings. If it was him, he would also protect his brother at all costs. After a while, she said slowly, I know that my brother did wrong in the past. Wrong? That's a heinous crime. Stop crying crocodile tears. If you still have a conscience, don't follow me. She turned and left, but Lin Yuqing continued to chase after her. Listen to me, that's all in the past. My brother has changed. He is sincere to Tao Yuan now, and he wants to get back together with her. His heart has long been eaten by a dog. What sincerity does he still have? He's just a lowly person and he can't bear to see Tao Yuan living better than him. At the end of the day, he still loves himself. He's a complete selfish person. On the beach, a pair of lovers hugged each other. Pan Chi stopped in her tracks and exploded with anger. She knew that Lu Li had drugged Tao Yuan again. Just as she was about to rush forward, Lin Yuqing grabbed her. Let go of me, let go, bastard. She struggled with all her might and shouted, but Lin Yuqing just wouldn't let go. She was so angry that she grabbed his arm and bit down. Her sharp teeth pierced through his skin, and Lin Yuqing cried out in pain. You're biting me, are you a dog? Let go. Pan Chi bit even harder and her mouth was full of the taste of blood. She vented all her anger on his hand. Let go, do you hear me? My brother is gone. Pan Chi let go of him and wiped her mouth. The smell of blood made her feel disgusted. Lu Li had already left, leaving Tao Yuan standing there alone. This scene was just like the relationship between them. Lu Li would always provoke her first, and then he would mercilessly pull away. In that relationship, it was always Tao Yuan who was singing a one-woman show. How could she not feel heartache? The two of them hugged and danced. The woman's soft body was pressed against the man's masculine and strong body, and they exchanged heat through a thin layer of cloth. Both of their hearts were a little messy, thump, 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 just like when they first fell in love. Everything made their hearts palpitate. Lu Li lowered his head and looked at that delicate face. He felt that all the tenderness in his life had been evoked. He had loved Tao Yanran before, but even at the deepest point of his love, he had never felt such a strong feeling like this. He didn't get tired of looking at her. Even when he was hugging her, he still felt that it was unreal. It was as if he could only be satisfied when he branded her into his bones. This was a kind of hunger and thirst of the soul. There was a voice in his ears that kept telling him, "Your life's fate is in this woman's hands. Hold on to her tightly or your life will be completely over." His eyes became more and more passionate. The blush on Tao Yuan's face became more obvious and she lowered her eyes. Chapter 558. My heart is only satisfied when I look at you. The tip of his nose was close to her ear, and he exhaled a warm breath. Tell me, when did you dig a hole in my heart? I didn't. You did. Listen to my heartbeat, isn't it very fast? You always say that I lie to you, but a heartbeat can't lie. When I'm with you it beats very fast. Then you should go to the hospital for a checkup to see if you have a heart attack. He was amused by her and laughed. His chest emitted waves of laughter, and his body trembled against hers, causing her to tremble with him. You really know how to spoil the mood. Yeah, but you're not suitable for romance either. I'm not trying to be romantic on purpose. I'm just thinking about what you'll like. For me it doesn't matter where or what I do. What's important is to be with you. Tao Yuan's heart was about to melt, and her legs were melting. Boss Lu is indeed Boss Lu. Full marks for flirting with girls. Then, have you been flirted with? It's quite soft. Where is it soft? His voice was very evil, and coupled with the fact that he was speaking next to her ear, that kind of seductive feeling was multiplied by 1,000 times. In that second, Tao Yuan's knees really buckled, and her legs went soft and she almost collapsed. She was a beat slower. She tried to keep up with his rhythm, maintaining her breathing, and tried her best not to let him see that she was in a sorry state. The top is soft or, the bottom is soft. She rolled her eyes at him. Why are you, really? I'm asking if your brain is soft or your legs are soft. Which part is yellow? Your legs went soft just now, that's why I'm asking. Tao Yuan was speechless to the extreme. This person was only in charge of lighting the fire, not in charge of cleaning up the scene, and his skin was so thick to a certain extent. Tell me, are you thinking about it in the wrong way? If you want to dance, then dance properly. I refuse to talk. That won't do. I still have a lot to say to you, but it's not enough. How about we talk for the rest of our lives? Don't make promises that you can't keep. It will only make people feel that it's a joke. Give me a chance to prove it to you. His large palms danced around her waist. Her waist was so soft that it aroused Lu Li's possessiveness. He just wanted to ruthlessly embed her into his body. Don't you want to know the result? Tao Yuan felt that the atmosphere was getting hotter and hotter, and it was developing in a direction that she couldn't control. She subconsciously shrank back. I don't want to know. No, you think so, baby. He intimately called out to her, his lips constantly spilling out words of love. He was panting, unable to control his own breath. He held her face and kissed her tender red lips. Tao Yuan's heart was already in her throat, thumping rapidly. Even swallowing her saliva had become incomparably difficult. Lu Li. Don't be like this. Let me kiss you, Yuan, don't reject me. His hot breath devoured her lips. Tao Yuan's mind was in a mess and she didn't know what to do. Lu Li. She was a little crazy and her heart was begging him not to be like this. She will fall. The feeling of falling step by step and being powerless to break free made Tao Yuan afraid. Lu Li's face was just above her, and the light shone down along his face, making his outline even more distinct. Deep in his dark pupils, there was a star-like brilliance, shaking her heart into a mess. His beautiful thin lips were constantly murmuring. Don't resist me, okay? Give me a chance. That voice made her weak. Give me a chance, Lu Li. Her fingers were trembling. His lips were getting closer and closer. Tao Yuan seemed to have accepted her fate as she gently closed her eyes. Her eyelashes were like a small fan that was trembling, stirring up Lu Li's heart. The man who was skilled in the field of love was actually holding his breath like a young man who had his first awakening of love. Ring, ring, ring. The phone's ringtone broke the spell of passion. Tao Yuan did not immediately push Lu Li away. Instead, she was slightly disappointed. Lu Li was extremely annoyed. He shouldn't have brought his phone out. The atmosphere was a little awkward. One of his hands was still holding her waist, and the other hand was taking out his phone. He was suppressing his anger and his breathing was uneven. "Excuse me. Is this Mr. Liu? We are at Renhe Hospital. Miss Tao had a car accident and is now in emergency treatment." "Car accident?" Lu Li let go of Tao Yuan and walked to the side. "Is it serious? The current situation is not clear. Please come over quickly." Lu Li looked at Tao Yuan and hesitated for a second. "I know, I'll come over now." "What? Who had a car accident?" Seeing his tightly pursed lips, Tao Yuan already had an answer in her heart. "Is it Tao Yanran?" "Yes, she had an accident." She really knows how to pick the time. The cold mockery made Lu Li feel a little uncomfortable. "How can you say that? Isn't it? She knew we were together and did it on purpose." Who would joke about a car accident? Tao Yuan couldn't help but roll her eyes again. Ordinary people wouldn't, but your Tao Yanran is not ordinary. She can do anything. Lu Li frowned. He wasn't angry at her for talking about Tao Yanran. He was just unhappy with her tone and attitude. It seemed to be very malicious. In his heart, she was not a malicious person. "Do you have to speak in this tone? Can't I say what I want to say?" Tao Yuan asked. He was so gentle to her just now, but now he was speaking to her in such a tone for Tao Yanran. Could he change his face any faster? This showed that Tao Yanran was the most important in his heart. Tao Yanran was a holy white lotus and no one could insult her. Then what about those sweet words he said to her just now? Was he playing with her in a moment of madness? Tao Yuan was angry at Lu Li, but she was even more angry at herself. She had been tricked so many times but she still fell for it every time. She really wanted to slap herself hard. "Okay, there's no point in you arguing with me here. Hurry up and find your sweetheart. She's in the emergency room now. I'm just worried about her. Don't explain so much. I don't care at all. I don't want to know." Tao Yuan turned around and faced the sea with her back to him. The woman who was confused just now exuded a cold aura at the moment, looking a little heartless. But what he couldn't see was that her eyes were already a little wet. She was just using the cold facade to maintain her dignity. Lu Li felt a little guilty in his heart, but he didn't know what to say. In this situation, anything he said would make her hate him. He put his hand on her shoulder gently. "I'll go and see the situation. If it's not serious, I'll come back right away." Tao Yuan sneered in her heart. Tao Yanran had pretended to be in a car accident. How could it not be serious? Of course it was as serious as it could be. She threw caution to the wind. Wouldn't it be a loss if she didn't pester him for a month? She didn't say anything, just looked at the sea and sneered. Lu Li was silent for a while and left. He still left. His aura was getting fainter and fainter. Tao Yuan laughed secretly. She knew that it would be like this. Why was she still a little disappointed? She thought that what Lu Li said to her was more or less sincere. But in his heart, no one could shake the position of Tao Yanran. Even if they would not get back together, Tao Yanran would always be a special existence. And she could only be the second in his heart at most. If she was not the only one, then she would rather not. Her heart was cold and hard by the wind. At the same time, it was difficult to suppress a trace of sadness. She only returned to the hotel after all her emotions were gone and they were no longer important. Pan Chi walked over to her and shouted with a grin. "You're finally back. I've been looking for you for a long time." The bright smile warmed Tao Yuan's heart. No matter what, at least she still had this good friend. Lu Li rushed back by private plane. As soon as he got off the plane, he went straight to the hospital. The doctor said that the operation had been finished. Tao Yanran's life was not in danger, but her right leg was seriously injured. She might not be able to continue to dance in the future. Tao Yanran was still under anesthesia. Lu Li stood alone in the quiet corridor and smoked one cigarette after another. The thick smell of medicine in the air made him feel irritated. He hated the hospital. Tao Yanran's accident made him distressed. On the other hand, he couldn't stop speculating about Tao Yuan's current mood. She must have misunderstood that Tao Yanran was more important than her. It was already 2 o'clock in the morning. Lu Li thought for a long time and still made a call. Beep. It rang twice and then was hung up. Well, she was such a stubborn person. How could she answer his call at this time? The screen dimmed just like his gloomy mood. Tao Yanran woke up in the morning. She was still very haggard, but she was very happy. On that pale face, 2 eyes were shining. "I don't know why the doctor contacted you, but I'm very happy that you can come." "How can I not come when you're in trouble?" Lu Li smiled faintly and tightened the quilt for her. "Did you not sleep last night? You have dark circles under your eyes. Are you worried that I can't sleep? He just smiled, and the emotions between his eyebrows were very shallow. Maybe it was because he was haggard after a sleepless night, or maybe it was because he was depressed. In short, all the reactions seemed a little forced. I'm sorry to make you worry. Tao Yinran looked very obedient at the moment, as docile as a sheep. She thought for a long time about how she was not as good as Tao Yuan. After thinking about it, it should be that she was not as gentle as Tao Yuan. She should be using this trick to confuse Lu Li. Of course, Tao Yinran would not admit that she was learning from Tao Yuan. She stubbornly thought that what Tao Yuan could do, she could do the same, and she would do better than her. Tao Yuan could not beat her, no matter in any aspect. You have a good rest. My body still hurts a little. I don't want to rest. I just want to talk to you. Her eyes were watery, affectionate, and full of dependence. Tao Yinran was the proudest woman Lu Li had ever seen. She was independent, smart, and seemed to be able to live a wonderful life without anyone. She would never depend on a man. This used to be a problem for him because he was a bit of a male chauvinist and liked his woman to depend on him. But now she depended on him, and it made him feel pressure. Chapter 559. Didn't you say you were out of town on a business trip? Why did you come back so soon? Worried about me, right? She blinked her eyes. Although her face was haggard, her facial features were still beautiful and had a kind of morbid sexiness. As long as she smiled, her face seemed to glow and radiate brilliance. Lu Li did not want to answer these questions. Are you not feeling well? Do you want me to call a doctor? You're my doctor. When I see you, I feel better. If you had promised to come back to see my performance that day, I would not be lying in the hospital now. You have to be responsible for me. I'm sorry. Oh, I am joking. Why do you always like to frown now? You look very serious. I don't like it. Tao Yinran was also forcing a smile. The Lu Li in front of her was like a walking corpse. His body was here, but his mind was not on her at all. She was very unhappy and felt like a self-delusional clown. However, she had spent so much effort to arrange this car accident. No matter what, she had to hold him back. She told herself that his abnormality was just because they had been apart for too long. He still needed time to get used to her. Soon they would be as good as before. Yinran, I am a little hungry. Go buy me breakfast. She interrupted him. Lu Li nodded. Okay. He got up and left the ward, only to find that the atmosphere inside was even more depressing than in the corridor. Facing Tao Yinran was a very difficult thing for him. The longer he stayed with her, the stronger this feeling became. They arrived at the restaurant. Sir, what porridge would you like? The waiter asked several times before Lu Li came back to his senses and realized that he was in a trance just now. Lean meat porridge. Okay. The waiter neatly packed the porridge and handed it to him, whispering to his colleagues next to him that they were infatuated with him. So handsome. Ah, really so manly? I wonder if she is here to take care of his parents or his wife. Who knows, but you see he is wearing a wedding ring. He is married. Sure enough, good men are all married. Sigh. Lu Li smoked a cigarette at the entrance of the restaurant. His mind was full of Tao Yuan. He felt as if his soul had been hooked away by her and could not stop for a moment. He called her again, but she still hung up on him. But even so, it still made him feel a little more at ease, as if this was some kind of connection. He smiled bitterly. Tao Yuan received the fourth call after Lu Li left, but she still hung up. Morning, afternoon, and evening. Was he greeting her as per her 3 meals? From the first time she hung up the phone, he should have known that she wouldn't pick up. Why did he still keep pestering her? He was already by Tao Yinran's side, but he was still pestering her. What did this mean? Are you ready to have fun? Pan Chi walked over. Why are you holding your phone? Was that bastard again? I'll tell him to die. With a mischievous smile, he wrapped his arm around her shoulders. Don't take your phone. Sister will take you to have fun tonight. Lin Yuqing received a call from Lu Li and went to find Tao Yuan. Before he rang the doorbell, the door opened and 2 beauties in bikinis came out. Lin Yuqing was shocked at first, and then he was so stunned that he almost had a nosebleed. Pan Chi had a model's figure of more than 1.7 meters. Tao Yuan was not as tall as her, but her figure was also very good. Lin Yuqing cursed in his heart. What was going on? Tao Yuan was not used to wearing so little. Although she wore a silk scarf, she still felt very uncomfortable and covered her chest with her hands. Pan Chi was much more natural. She had a good figure and there was nothing to hide, so she made a noise. What are you looking at? Haven't you seen a woman before? He should not bully his friend's wife. Lin Yuqing withdrew his gaze with difficulty. Where are you going? What does it have to do with you? What? Did your master send you to spy on us? With Tao Yuan present, Lin Yuqing had to maintain his gentlemanly demeanor and said with a cheeky smile. What are you talking about? What stalking? Can't I come to play with my sister-in-law? Where are we going to play? Count me in? In your dreams. Pan Chi pulled Tao Yuan away and Lin Yuqing followed them shamelessly. Tell me, where are we going? Pan Chi was annoyed by his pestering, so she replied with one sentence. Go back and tell your master that Yuan Yuan and I are going to a yacht bikini party. Tell him to go to hell. Yacht bikini party? Lin Yuqing's eyes were full of sexy bodies. Those parties were really messy. If Lu Li knew that Tao Yuan was going to this kind of party, he would definitely kill him. But he could not stop them even if he wanted to, so he could only continue to follow. The two boarded the yacht. It was already very high inside. A group of beauties in bikinis and men were drinking crazily. Tao Yuan wanted to escape as soon as she entered. There are too many people here. I'd better go back first. The more people, the merrier. You're not scared, are you? No, I'm not used to it. Come on, you're only 24 years old. It's the age to go crazy. Why are you living more conservative than my grandma? If you don't go crazy now, when will you go crazy? Are you still thinking about that bastard's feelings? Of course not. That's right. Pan Chi pushed her into the crowd and shouted excitedly. The party is starting. Let's get high. Tao Yuan was a little not used to it at first, but soon she was involved in the lively atmosphere and danced with the music. Men and women danced together and she no longer resisted. She was really too tired and she was too tense. She needed to indulge. When Lin Yuqing changed his clothes, Tao Yuan had already danced with a group of men. He almost went crazy and grabbed Pan Chi and asked, Look at what you've done. What's wrong? My sister and I are having a good time. Very good. Pan Chi said proudly. Go away. Don't get in my way. There's something wrong with your brain. If my brother sees this, he'll go crazy. Oh, isn't that just right? Don't say crazy. I can't wait for him to die. Tao Yuan is different from you. She's a married woman. She can't play like this. Does it make a difference whether she's married or not? Do you want her to be a widow for that bastard? You saw it yesterday, he abandoned her and left. Maybe he has something important to do. Yes, it's important. What about Tao Yanran? How can she not be important? Pan Chi said sarcastically and rolled her eyes. Since he can't give her happiness, don't interfere in her life anymore. Get out of here too. You're really unreasonable. You're shameless. The two quarreled for a while. While Lin Yuqing was distracted, Pan Chi stole his mobile phone, took a few photos of Tao Yuan's party, and sent them to Lu Li on WeChat. At the same time in the hospital, Lu Li was peeling an apple for Tao Yanran. When his phone rang, he didn't even have time to wipe his hands and quickly took out his phone. When he saw the picture of Tao Yuan in a bikini dancing with other men, he was so angry that his eyeballs almost fell out. As soon as he left, she couldn't wait to party? How could a married man attend a bikini party? This damned woman. Tao Yanran couldn't see the screen, but she could guess what was going on. Even though Lu Li was with her all the time, he seemed to be absent-minded, which annoyed her. What's wrong? Nothing. Lu Li locked his phone and put it back in his trouser pocket. His face was obviously much uglier. He continued to peel the apple and handed it to her. Rest early today. Are you in a hurry to leave? Yes. What's the hurry? If there's nothing important, can you accompany me for a while? I'm alone here, it's very lonely, and I hate hospitals the most. You know that. I'll find a caregiver to accompany you. I don't need a caregiver. I need you. Do you know why I had a car accident? Because I was thinking about you at that time, so I was distracted. I promised to perform for my friend because I wanted to dance for you, but you didn't come. I was really disappointed, but I couldn't tell you. On the way back, I suddenly felt very sad and cried. My eyes were blurred with tears, so I had a car accident. Tao Yanran hated to pretend to be pitiful, but she had no other way. She said this deliberately to make Lu Li feel guilty and use his self-blame to make him stay. She thought that since she had said so much, he would not leave no matter what. But Lu Li hesitated for a moment and said, I can only say sorry for this accident. But our relationship has ended and we should move forward. At least I think so. Tao Yanran was deeply provoked. Move forward? Go where? Go to Tao Yuan's place? His silence represented an affirmative answer, which was tantamount to adding fuel to the fire. The fire that Tao Yinran had been holding back for a period of time was suddenly vented. Don't forget that she killed our baby. How can you fall in love with a murderer? That thing has passed. Don't mention it again. That's our baby. Can you really forget it? Tao Yinran was heartbroken and angry. The child was not Lu Li's, but it was her flesh and blood. She was the one who suffered the most. Are you worthy of our child? Don't mention that thing again. Lu Li chose to escape and stood up. He didn't want to hear more words to torture him. He left a sentence of "have a good rest" and fled the ward. Ali, come back. Tao Yinran called his name over and over again. She almost fell off the bed, but he didn't stop walking. She believed that the man who once loved her with life treated her so ruthlessly. After flying back and forth for 2 days and not sleeping last night, Lu Li's mental state was very bad and he had a bad headache. But there was no way to rest on the plane. As soon as he closed his eyes, he saw those bikini photos of Tao Yuan. The anger made him restless. Every minute and every second was torture. And Tao Yuan didn't know that a man had been crazy for her. After a wild party, she was exhausted and sat with Pan Chi with their heads leaning against each other and giggling. I haven't been so happy for a long time. Alcohol stimulated her brain and she was very excited. Every cell was boiling and cheering. Chi, thank you. Hey, is it necessary for us to say such words to each other? Isn't that how best friends are used? Pan Chi had just knocked over a few men, so she was also drunk. You are usually too tense. If you don't go crazy when you are young, you will be old. Come, for the party for youth, let's have another drink. Chapter 560. At midnight the party ended. The two of them helped each other back to the hotel, and a man who had just danced with Tao Yuan followed them. Let's go, it's too early now, let's go play again. I have a headache, I don't want to go. It won't hurt after one more drink. Go away. Pan Chi pushed him, but her strength was weak. She squinted her eyes and burped, pointing at him and said, I know what you mean, you burp. Don't you just want to hook up with our Yuan? A toad wants to eat swan meat. Go away. Don't say that, isn't it like this when we come out to play? Let's go. Tao Yuan and Pan Chi both drank a lot, and the man was very sober and strong so they couldn't break free. The man was fantasizing when he suddenly received a punch in the face. One punch sent him to the ground and he couldn't get up for a long time. Go away. He was so scared that he peed his pants and ran away. Lu Li supported Tao Yuan's soft body, looking at her face that was as red as a monkey's, but he was angry and distressed. Damn, how much did you drink? He didn't support Pan Chi, so Pan Chi sat on the ground and stared at him with a frown, as if she couldn't believe her eyes. Lu Li, bastard. Didn't you leave? Lu Li understood Tao Yuan's character. She would definitely not attend that kind of party, so it was obvious that Pan Chi brought her there. What kind of trash friend did she have to bring her to such a dangerous place? If he didn't appear in time, the consequences would be unimaginable. In her daze, Tao Yuan saw that it was him and started to struggle. Let go, let me go. She told you to let go, did you hear her? Why did you come back? Pan Chi staggered over, wanting to save Tao Yuan from his hands. Let go, bastard. Enough. You know she can't drink, so why did you let her drink so much? Can't I be happy? What could he do if he didn't drink? You want her to cry for you? You abandoned her first. Don't pretend to be a good person now. I'm fake? If I hadn't acted in time, what kind of danger would have occurred? A woman like you probably doesn't care, but remember, Tao Yuan is different from you. She's my wife. You only know how to say it. Have you ever treated her as your wife? Where were you when she needed you the most? King stayed with Tao Yinran. Since you left, don't come back. I won't hand Yuan over to someone like you. Pan Chi grabbed Lu Li's arm and bit it like an octopus. Lu Li's other hand was supporting Tao Yuan, so he couldn't push Pan Chi away. His eyes turned green with anger. He had seen many exquisite women, but Pan Chi was definitely the most exquisite and the most annoying one. If she was a man, he would have beaten her to death. On the beach, Lu Li grabbed Tao Yuan with one hand and his other hand was bitten by Pan Chi. He was going crazy. Just then Lin Yuqing walked over in a drunken state and stood by the side, looking like he didn't know what was going on. Lu Li shouted at him. What are you looking at? Come and help. Oh. Lin Yuqing came back to his senses and hurried to pull Pan Chi. Hey, let go. Do you hear me? Are you a dog? You like biting people so much. He had been bitten before, so he knew how painful it was. He was full of sympathy for Lu Li. Lu Li's expression was as ugly as it could be. "Didn't I ask you to look after her? What kind of person are you?" I drank too much too." Lin Yuqing looked bitter. "They disappeared in the time it took me to pee." After a great deal of effort, Pan Qi finally relented. However, she and Tao Yuan were still wailing like ghosts and howling like wolves. "Chi, save me, Chi, let go of her. Lu Li, you bastard, let go, Chi, Yuan." The two of them cried as if they were parting for life and death, attracting many people to watch. Lu Li and Lin Yuqing were embarrassed. They felt like two human traffickers. They had never been so embarrassed. "Grand Aunt, don't scream, I beg you." Lin Yuqing could not cover Pan Qi's mouth, so he put her on his shoulder. "I'll take care of this, you take care of sister-in-law. Let's split up." Lin Yuqing, "Let go of me. Let go, Pan Qi screamed. "Shut up, I'll sell you to Africa if you make any more noise, you troublesome woman." Lu Li glared at Tao Yuan, who was still struggling. "Let go of me. I don't want you to care about me." "Lu Li, let go." He didn't care how loud she was and just dragged her away. His strides were so big that Tao Yuan couldn't keep up with him since she was drunk. After stumbling a few steps, her legs gave way and she directly knelt on the beach. However, he ignored her and pulled her up again, continuing to walk. She was so anxious that her eyes were red. She used her other hand to break his fingers. "Let go of me, do you hear me? You don't have the right to do this to me, you bastard. I told you to let go. Are you deaf? Let go. Let go." The man who only cared about moving forward suddenly stopped in his tracks, and Tao Yuan directly bumped into his chest. It was so hard that she blacked out and felt dizzy. Then he grabbed the right side of his face and lifted him up. His gloomy face was pressed down on him, and his eyes were burning with anger. "You don't want me to care? Then who do you want to care? Do you want to be taken away by that man? So what if I do? He's 1,000, 10,000 times better than you." Tao Yuan was very angry after being messed around by him. She raised her head and looked into his angry eyes. Her slender body was still shivering from the cold, but she still looked fearless. Her eyes were red, partly because of the alcohol and partly because of her anger. He had promised that he would not treat her so savagely, but wasn't it the same now? Of course she could not believe this man's words. He was the most shameless scumbag in the world. His 5 fingers suddenly tightened, and her skin leaked out from the gaps between his fingers. His strong body pressed towards her, and his eyes shone with a fiery light. "You want to anger me to death, don't you? Why do you have to go against me? Why do you have to make me angry?" Tao Yuan rolled her eyes and rolled her eyes. "Who are you? Why do I have to make you angry? I go to the party because I like it and I'm happy. That's my life and you have no right to interfere." "I don't have the right?" Lu Li clenched his teeth. "Look at you now, aren't you still caught by me? What can you do? What? You came all the way back from Tao Yanran just to catch us in the act?" The strong smell of alcohol rushed up her throat and Tao Yuan was so disgusted that she almost vomited. The discomfort in her stomach made her even angrier. Although she was drunk and her consciousness was not very clear, she roughly knew what kind of situation she was in. After all, this kind of thing had happened too many times, and her body had formed an instinctive resistance mechanism. "Since you want to catch us in the act, why don't you do it later? When I have sex with that man you can end." She groaned in pain because he had actually bitten her lips. She felt that her lips were bitten and it was very painful. Lu Li was enraged by what she said. He said it word by word. "You can only have me. Don't think about other men. I want it. It's none of your business. See if I can do anything about it." Her face was wrapped tightly and Tao Yuan struggled to break free. She was so angry that she went crazy. "Let go of me, help, help, help. Help me," she cried and shouted. Lu Li had to cover her mouth and drag her to a corner. "You're really disobedient, do you know that?" Anger was boiling in his chest, but he couldn't bear to hurt her. "Why can't you be more obedient, En? You won't have to suffer too." "Help." He pinched her lips with 2 fingers. She couldn't make a sound and could only stare. Are you angry?" "Let me tell you, I'm 100 times angrier than you are now. I seem to have been too gentle with you in the past, causing you to do whatever you want now. It seems that I have to give you some punishment." The anger in his eyes dissipated and turned into something else. "You like to go against me, right?" Tao Yuan was so nervous that she kept swallowing her saliva. Her lips were already numb from being pinched by him and her eyes were filled with fear. You have a strange charm, do you know that? Even when I'm very angry, I still feel that you're damn seductive," he said in a low voice. At the same time, his fingers tightened and grabbed her butt. It's very exciting, isn't it? Ah, your body is so sensitive." Luli put his mouth close to her ear and breathed out a hot breath. He moved down her earlobe and kissed her neck, sometimes gently and sometimes heavily. Tao Yuan closed her eyes. Tears seeped out from the corner of her eyes and she was about to go crazy. Luli smiled deeply. "Open your eyes and look at me. See how I love you." As soon as he loosened his fingers, Tao Yuan began to curse. "Bastard. Let go of me." She struggled to twist her body but she couldn't move. "Let go." Scream a little louder. "But there's no one here. Even if you scream your throat out, no one will come to save you. You're shameless. You can't do this to me. I'm not yours. Don't touch me with the dirty hands that you've touched Tao Yanran with. I feel disgusted. Let go of me, dirty hands? Are you talking about this hand? This hand will only touch you. It won't touch any other woman. Aren't you afraid of being struck by lightning for saying such a lie? For someone like you who wants to have sex with every woman you see, I curse you. I curse you to get sick. I curse you to have sores on your head and pus under your feet. I curse you to be useless." Luli didn't get angry. Instead, he smiled and his eyes were abnormally bright. "What good does my incompetence do to you? Your happiness still depends on me. Shameless. Your mouth is really bad. Looks like I have to give you some punishment." As he said that, his gaze sharpened, and he turned her body around with his back facing her, not giving her a chance to dodge at all. His strong body directly pressed down on her back, and he raised his hand to give her a hard slap on her buttocks. "Pa, ah," Tao Yuan screamed. She was in so much pain that tears were about to come out. "Do you know the pain now? Do you still dare?" As Luli said this, he slapped her butt again. "Bastard! Bastard!" Tao Yuan cried and cursed. Chapter 561. Her scarf had fallen off and she was only wearing a bikini, revealing her beautiful figure. Luli had long been tempted. Tao Yuan screamed in panic. What are you doing? What do you think I'm doing? Wife, are you afraid? Luli, you're crazy. This is outside. I like it. I promise you will like it too. I'm going to sue you. Bastard, let me go." Tao Yuan's screams were unable to stop the man's powerful offensive. It was as fierce as a storm. In the end, she couldn't even curse anymore and her cries turned into soft moans. Tao Yuan woke up from her nightmare and jumped up from the bed like a corpse. The sky was already very bright. The sun was dazzling outside the window and the waves were crashing on the beach. She was covered in cold sweat and every cell was filled with shock. She had a nightmare. She dreamed of her and Luli. That romantic scene was so clear as if it was real. It made her feel ashamed and her cheeks were burning. Fortunately, it was just a nightmare. Fortunately, morning. Luli walked in with breakfast. On the tray there was a glass of orange juice and a sandwich. Tao Yuan shrank back in fear and stared at him with wide eyes. "Why are you here?" "Of course I'm here. I'm not that kind of irresponsible man." At this moment, the man was refreshed and in a good mood. His whole face was stretched out and looked very good. There was a kind of clarity, purity and brightness. Soaked in the sunlight, he looked like the handsome god Apollo. Tao Yuan still couldn't understand the situation in front of her. She hoped that it was just her hallucination. However, Luli was really standing there with that handsome but hateful face. He was so proud that it couldn't be ignored. "Didn't you go to find Tao Yanran?" He put down the tray and slowly crawled towards her on the bed. His eyes were fiery. "Have you really forgotten what happened last night? Do you need me to recall it for you? The heart-wrenching parting of life and death, between her and Pan Chi on the beach, the quarrel along the way and the one in the corner." Tao Yuan's face turned pale. It was not a nightmare. She and Luli were really... He clenched and loosened his fist and a slap flew towards his face. Of course it didn't succeed and Luli caught it. Her wrist was bruised after being pulled by him for a long time last night. Now, it hurt when he grabbed her wrist, but Tao Yuan did not show any weakness. "You want to hit me again? You raped me, why can't I hit you? Do you think it's appropriate to use that word between husband and wife? You forcibly took my body against my will. That's how strong you are." Luli had already foreseen this reaction from her, so it did not affect his happy mood. Anyway, he enjoyed the feeling of teasing a little pet. Then what evidence do you have to prove that I'm stronger? You clearly enjoyed yourself last night. Women like men to be more violent. Admit it. Admit it, my ass. Don't think that just because you're a pervert, others will be as perverted as you. No one likes to be raped. If the law could punish people like you would have been shot 1,000 times or 10,000 times. Tao Yuan raised her voice and shouted. Lu Li picked his ear and deliberately put on a shameless face. If it's something like that, there's no point in saying it. Unfortunately, the law can't do anything to me. It doesn't matter if you don't admit that you enjoyed it. I remember clearly when you were aroused. You're shameless. Tao Yuan angrily pulled her wrist out. No matter how you deny it, it's still rape. You only know how to use force to subdue women. What kind of man are you? Are you a man? How manly you are. You know better than me. Tao Yuan's face turned red. His skin was thicker than an iron wall. No matter how she insulted him, it was invulnerable, and it only made him more excited. She could only admit it. It was useless to be angry. Closing her eyes, Tao Yuan tried to suppress her anger. Didn't you go back to Tao Yanran's side? Why did you come back? If I don't come back, won't I give you a chance to attract bees and butterflies outside? What do you mean by attracting bees and butterflies? Don't I even have the right to go out and play? Don't you have any sense of danger at that kind of party? Lu Li was furious when he talked about it. Don't you see what kind of friends you've made? Pan Chi is such a casual woman, and you still treat her as your best friend. I won't allow you to insult my friend. Pan Chi is doing it for my own good. She wants me to be happy. Unlike you, who only wants to torture me. For your own good? If it's for your own good, she wouldn't bring you to that kind of place. She's pushing you into a wolf's den. You're still helping people earn money after being sold. Is there something wrong with your brain? Listening to him speak so eloquently as if he was the best person in the world, but in fact he was the scumbag. Tao Yuan sneered in her heart, and retorted sarcastically. Yes, there's nothing wrong with my brain. Why would I like someone like you? I don't want to quarrel with you. Lu Li tried his best to control his temper. Quarreling was the most meaningless thing to do. We're both adults. Instead of quarreling, I prefer to solve it the way I did last night. If you have a brain, you should learn to judge. It's one thing for you to quarrel with me, but you shouldn't put yourself in danger. Hey, in my opinion, any man is safer than you, Lu Li. You're the dangerous one. I have my own judgment, and I know what kind of person is worth befriending. It's not your turn to tell me what to do. She held her head high, full of pride and righteousness. Lu Li wished he could break her wings. He admired women with their own opinions, but Tao Yuan didn't know what was good for her, and her temper was terrible. There was no way to communicate with her. Thank you for your kindness, but I have my own way of life. You can go back to Tao Yanran. Tao Yuan said and was about to get out of bed, but Lu Li clasped her wrist. Seeing her frown in pain, he immediately withdrew his hand. Only then did he find that her wrist was purple, which made him feel a little guilty. Don't be like this, okay? If I really wanted to accompany her, I wouldn't be here now. I'm not here to catch you cheating, nor to criticize your way of life. I'm worried about you. Yanran had a car accident. I just went back to see the situation, but my mind can't calm down at all. I think about you like crazy. Every second is hard to bear. Lu Li said the words from the bottom of his heart. Even if those words hurt his self-esteem, he wanted her to understand his feelings and understand that he really cared about her. However, these words couldn't move Tao Yuan. Instead, it made her dislike him even more. When you're with Tao Yanran, you think about me. When you're with me, you worry about Tao Yanran. Are you so cheap? Is it enough to be two-timing? I'm not in that kind of relationship with her. I don't want to hear your excuses. I only know that when you and I were having a candlelight dinner, you rushed back as soon as you received her call. What can I do? Can I leave her alone? Of course not. She sneered. Tao Yanran is your darling. How can you leave her alone? Even if I believe that part of your feelings for me are true, so what? Do you think I'll tolerate you cheating on me? Men are all cheap wretches. What they haven't got is the best. I used to pester you, but you didn't care. Now that I look down on you, you want to conquer me. Isn't that the case? Once I fall in love with you again, you'll think that Tao Yanran is the one you like. Your behavior can't be described with just the word cheap. Do you know? If you were a woman, you'd be beaten to death on the road. Lu Li couldn't defend himself. The feelings I want are unique. If I can't be the only one in his heart, then I'd rather not. How can I stand to be ranked behind Tao Yenran? She and I are in the past. I've made it very clear. You can't completely erase a person from your heart. But I want you to stay with me. One day I'll completely forget her. You're more and more important in my heart. Tao Yuan raised her hand and motioned for him to stop talking. If you continue to quibble, it will only make me look down on you more. I can't do anything to you about last night. I'll just take it as being bitten by a dog. Anyway, it's not the first time this happened. Lu Li's heart was surrounded by a strong sense of powerlessness. He sighed silently. Okay, let's not talk about that. Don't be angry with me. Eat your breakfast first, okay? He handed the orange juice over. Tao Yuan glanced at it and then knocked it over with one hand. The glass fell by Lu Li's feet. The orange juice spilled on his pants and dripped down. If it was in the past, he would definitely be angry. But now he had really lost his temper after being tortured by her. He just quietly picked up the glass. Pan Chi woke up in the middle of a headache and dizziness. The moment she opened her eyes, a face appeared in front of her. Lin Yuqing? Pan Chi kicked him off the bed. Lin Yuqing's body was already sore. The fall almost broke his bones. He held his arm and screamed. Damn, you woman, you're too cruel. It hurts so much. Why are you on my bed? What do you mean on your bed? This is my room. What did you do to me? Pan Chi hurriedly covered herself with the blanket. She was a bit more daring, but she wasn't a promiscuous woman. Sharing a bed with a man, especially a man like Lin Yuqing, was still a shock. Please don't look like I did something to you. If anyone is to suffer, it should be me, okay? Look at my face and body. You scratched me and bit me on the back. Why do you like to bite people so much? Are you a dog? Pan Chi remembered what happened last night. After Lu Li and Lin Yuqing forcibly separated her and Tao Yuan, Lin Yuqing carried her back to the hotel. The two of them fought. In the end, they were too tired and fell asleep. Fortunately, Lin Yuqing was also drunk last night. Otherwise, he would definitely take advantage of her. After worrying about herself, Pan Chi thought of Tao Yuan. She shouted, "Oh no," and ran out of the bed. Where are you going? Lin Yuqing stopped her. My sister-in-law is with my elder brother now. I know. That's why it's not safe. You bastard, you helped the wicked. If anything happens to Yuan, you'll be an accomplice. Lin Yuqing frowned. Chapter 562. Tao Yuan is no match for Lu Li. Is she a match for him with you? If my brother really wants to do something, 100 of you can't do anything. Don't mess around anymore, calm down. As they pushed and shoved, the two of them kept retreating and fell onto the bed together. Pan Chi's makeup was already messed up. It was colorful like a palette, but Lin Yuqing strangely felt that this was also very beautiful. Don't move again. If you move again, I'll kiss you. The look in his eyes deepened, and he lost his usual cynicism. The man suddenly became serious, and he looked even more charming. If it were any other woman, their legs would definitely be weak, but Pan Chi was not weak. She was trembling with anger. Are you threatening me? You can understand it that way. Lin Yuqing was very proud of himself. He had an expression that said, I can do whatever I want to you. When people were proud, it was easy to underestimate the enemy. In the next second, he was hit hard. Ouch! He screamed and knelt on the ground with his hands covering his chest. His whole face was bloodshot and his veins were bulging. Pan Chi stood up and looked at the embarrassed man at her feet with disdain. She was like a proud queen, majestic. You want to threaten me? You're still too inexperienced. Don't stop me again. Otherwise, you'll have no descendants next time. Pan Chi quickly went back to her room to change her clothes and went to save Tao Yuan. Of course, she would not be stupid enough to look in Tao Yuan's room. She asked for Lu Li's room number and went straight to his room. Ding dong ding dong. After pressing the doorbell twice, Pan Chi was so anxious that she directly hit the door with her fist. Dong dong, dong dong. After 2 hits, the door opened. Lu Li stood behind the door in a white shirt and casual trousers. He was dressed in a refreshing and dazzling outfit. It was as if he was plated with a layer of gold. Looking at his calm appearance, Pan Chi knew that he must have taken advantage of her last night. She rushed in but was pulled out by Lu Li. Where's Lin Yuqing? That. Do you think that trash can control me? Where was Yuan? Ask her to come out. Do you think you can see my wife whenever you want? What did you do to her, you bastard? Pan Chi cursed him a few times. Lu Li felt that in her eyes, he was a perverted killer who committed all kinds of crimes. My wife, of course I can do whatever I want. What right do you have to ask? She wants to divorce you. You're forcing her. Lu Li just sneered at such accusations. He could see that Tao Yuan's bad temper was influenced by Pan Qi. He must not let them get too close. Pan Qi's cursing was useless. She wanted to barge in but she couldn't. She was so angry that she stomped her feet. At this moment, a waiter walked by and Lu Li waved him over. Boss Lu. The waiter bowed respectfully. There's a mental patient here who disturbed my vacation. Kick her out. Yes, Boss Lu. Me? Mental patient? You're the pervert? Give Yuanyuan back to me. Damn it, let go, don't drag me. You should call the police to arrest him. Pan Qi's strength was no match for a man. She was forcibly dragged away by the waiter. She was still cursing as she walked. I'll be back. If you dare to bully Tao Yuan, I won't let you go. Warn him? This woman really didn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Lu Li rolled his eyes and closed the door. Tao Yuan had just finished washing up and came out of the room. Who is it? A mental patient. Qi. You also know that she's a mental patient? Then why are you so close to her? What did you do to her? Don't worry, I'll dirty my hands even if I kill her. Tao Yuan was still worried. She wanted to find Pan Qi but Lu Li blocked her way. The two of them stood at the entrance. There was only a narrow path. If he stood there she wouldn't be able to pass. Lu Li looked at her with a faint smile. She came here early in the morning to throw a tantrum. She really cares about you. I can't help but wonder, are you guys gay? Then you're in cahoots with Lin Yuqing, aren't you? You only have dirty thoughts in your head. You don't understand friendship at all. I don't understand why you have to be friends with that kind of person. She wears revealing clothes, swears every time she opens her mouth, and likes to sow discord. How is she worthy of being friends with? Tao Yuan shook her head. You don't understand her at all. You have no right to mock her. At least when I was in the most pain, she was the one who accompanied me through it. She was also the one who let me know what freedom and happiness are, and that I have the right to pursue happiness. Do you want me to suffocate myself in the grave of marriage? The world outside is very big and there are many men. It's not just you, Lu Li. Don't be too arrogant and think that you're the center of the world. I have to revolve around you. I also want you to be happy, but having fun with different men is called promiscuity, not happiness. If you're willing to give me a chance, I can also make you happy. I can't be bothered with you. Where are you going now? Are you sure you want to leave in this? Only then did Tao Yuan remember that the bikini on her body had been changed by Lu Li into a nightgown. Moreover, the inside was in a vacuum state, so it was impossible for her to go out like this. Lu Li was even less likely to say yes. He was the only one who could enjoy such a beautiful body. He would go crazy if other men looked at her for a second longer. Forced by the situation, Tao Yuan could only ask him for help. Get someone to bring me a set of clothes. Do you always ask people with a sour face? Are you sure people will want to help you? You changed the clothes on me, so you have to be responsible. Don't worry, of course I will be responsible for you, he said thoughtfully. I will be responsible for life. You're really... Tao Yuan wanted to scold him, but she was speechless. Don't worry, I've already asked someone to buy it. Eat breakfast first. Lu Li reached out to hold her hand, but she avoided it. He did not force her, but took a glass of milk and handed it to her. Drink it. I don't want to drink it, I just want to leave here. What's the hurry? You can't leave dressed like this anyway. Lu Li leisurely took a sip first. He quietly admired her body. He had clearly seen it last night, but he still felt that it was not enough. The exquisite curves under the purple silk nightgown were faintly discernible, and he could not help but be tempted. Tao Yuan soon noticed the unusual passion in his eyes, and she was embarrassed and annoyed. What are you looking at? When are you going to get the clothes? He did not do anything, but when he looked at her like that, Tao Yuan still felt as if she was being raped. She felt numb from head to toe, and her 10 toes curled up slightly and felt hot. I don't know, don't worry. Tao Yuan only wanted to say that he was not in a hurry. After all, he was not the one being raped, okay? She was very anxious, like an ant on a hot pan. I know what you're thinking. If you think it's unfair, you can also look at me. The man held the glass of milk in one hand, and the other hand slowly unbuttoned his shirt. His collarbone was exposed just now, and now even his chest muscles were faintly discernible. Tao Yuan hurriedly covered her eyes and made a stop gesture to him. Stop, stop, stop. Don't continue, no one wants to see your body. Don't you want to see? I was the one looking at you last night, And now it's your turn to look at me? Or do you not want to see my top and want to see my bottom? I'm happy to. I don't want to have a needle eye. Why would I? But I'm not sure if I will have a nosebleed. After all, someone said that my body is very hot. His slender fingers had already landed on the third button, and he could continue to move down at any time. His bronze chest muscles were already exposed, like two dangerous beasts lying dormant on both sides ready to strike. Tao Yuan could not help but swallow a mouthful of saliva. This kind of behavior was indeed shameless, but to be honest, Lu Li did have the capital. When he did not speak, he looked very cool with a kind of imposing aura. But when he acted like a hooligan, it was another kind of feeling. She had always felt that if he was not a domineering CEO with his face and figure, he would be very suitable to be a model. What was she thinking? She actually almost fell for his handsome man trap. It was just the right amount of teasing, and Lu Li did not want to scare his little prey, so he still exposed his chest but did not continue. No. I said I don't want to drink. Tao Yuan's heart was thumping, causing her breathing to be unstable. How can you not eat breakfast? If you starve, I will be the one who will feel bad. Hearing such mushy words, Tao Yuan made a vomiting expression. You don't want to drink? Are you sure? She shook her head. Then it seems that you prefer this method. Lu Li drank a big mouthful of milk, stretched out his long arms, directly wrapped around her waist and brought her into his arms. He lowered his head and kissed her, feeding the milk to her. Tao Yuan was forced to take a mouthful of it and she swallowed it. Cough, 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 cough. I almost choked to death because of you. How can I feel bad for you? How can I bear to choke you to death? Does it taste good? She forcefully wiped her lips. Do you think I will feel that it tastes good if you force me in that way? Why not? I have seen it in some vulgar movies before and I feel disgusted, but I feel that it is okay when I try it myself. The taste is really good. So, do you want to drink it yourself or do you want me to feed you one mouthful at a time? I personally recommend the latter. I don't want it. Tao Yuan snatched the milk, gulped it down and drank it completely. Is this okay? When she glared at him in a fit of pique, her eyes were lively, playful and charming. The more Lu Li looked at her, the more he liked her. He finally understood why some people were sadistic. It must be because the target of abuse was too tempting. After breakfast, the clothes were delivered. Tao Yuan hid in the bathroom to change. Once she came out, she was ready to leave, but Lu Li did not allow her to do so. Breakfast has been eaten and the clothes have been changed. What else do you want? I almost forgot to tell you, you are grounded. Grounded? Was this a term from the last century? Tao Yuan found it a little hard to understand. This is your punishment for attending that kind of party behind my back. Lu Li held a glass of red wine and leaned against the wall, smiling faintly. You can't be so naive to think that there will be no punishment for that matter, right? Looking at his self-righteous expression, Tao Yuan really felt that it was ridiculous. She really wanted to retort, why should I? Where did he get the right? I play my games and you play yours. I did not cause you any trouble and you have no right to punish me. If you want to cause me trouble, you are welcome to do so at any time. I'm not that bored. That is because you gave up your rights, but it does not mean that I will give up. I can still choose to exercise my rights as a husband. So, from now on until we go back, you must stay by my side. He raised his eyebrows and narrowed his long and narrow eyes with evil intentions. Chapter 563. Regarding the issue of being grounded, the two of them inevitably had another conflict. The result was predictable. Tao Yuan was defeated. When she was dragged to the restaurant by Lu Li for dinner, her beautiful face was gloomy. Lu Li enjoyed his steak happily. The weather was sunny and the temperature was pleasant. The weather in the south was really good. You're not eating? He glanced at her from the corner of his eye, looking happy. The corners of his mouth seemed to have a natural smile, slightly raised. Do you think a grounded person will have an appetite? You're grounded, but you're also very free, aren't you? The only condition is to stay by my side. Whatever you want to play, I'll take you. Thank you, but no need. I'm not in the mood to play anything with you. You're so resentful. People who don't know the situation will think that your husband has cheated on you. In fact, your husband loves you very much. What you said is so funny. Anyway, eat a little. Even if you want to fight with me, you have to eat to have the strength, right? Lu Li patted her head, but she slapped his hand away and protested against it. Don't touch me. I can't help it. He said it very gently with a doting face. The phone vibrated. Luli took a look. I'm going to answer a phone call. You sit here and I'll watch you outside. If you dare to run away, I'll punish you. He took the phone and left, looking back at her as he walked. He walked out of the restaurant and smiled at her while smoking and talking on the phone in the garden outside. The lazy posture of smoking made all the ladies in the restaurant unable to take their eyes off him. Laugh, laugh, laugh. What's so funny? Shameless. Tao Yuan gritted her teeth. The waiter came with 2 glasses of wine. I didn't ask for wine. This is for you. The waiter secretly handed her a piece of paper. Tao Yuan's first reaction was that Pan Chi had come to save her. When Luli wasn't paying attention, she hurriedly opened the note. Pan Chi said that she had packed her luggage for her and was waiting for her at the back door of the restaurant. Luli came back after the call. Tao Yuan quickly hid the note and calmed herself down. Did you miss me? Thinking about why you're not dead yet. The man did not get angry. Instead, he smiled and said in a very tolerant manner. Your mouth is really vicious, but I don't mind. I'm going to the bathroom. You're not thinking of using this opportunity to escape, are you? His eyes were full of meaning and there was a hint of danger in them. Tao Yuan was very nervous. Did he see through her? No, it shouldn't be yet. She had to relax a little and not reveal any clues. She smiled and asked, Do you want to follow the ladies' room? Lu Li spread his hands, indicating that he wasn't that bored. Tao Yuan calmly walked to the washroom. While he was distracted, she slipped into another corridor and escaped. I'm here. Pan Chi quickly waved at her. She was wearing a sun hat and glasses. She was also wrapped up so tightly that even Tao Yuan couldn't recognize her. What the hell are you doing? Are you a spy? I can't help it. Lu Li's eyes are too vicious. If I don't disguise myself, I will definitely be recognized by him. He's watching you closely now. It's too difficult to get close to you. Here's your luggage. I've also bought the plane tickets. Let's go. Okay. The 2 women hand in hand ran for their lives. Tao Yuan just got into Pan Chi's convertible sports car. She was about to fasten her seatbelt when a hand suddenly put on the car door. She was so scared that she screamed and almost lost her soul. Where are you going? Lu Li's arm was lazily on the car door. There was no trace of danger on his face. His smile was lazy and calm, as if he was just saying hello and chatting casually. Pan Chi didn't expect him to catch up. She was so scared that her hands were shaking. The more anxious she was, the more her hands shook. She couldn't insert the keyhole at all and the key fell out. Lu Li raised the corner of his mouth, opened the car door and pulled Tao Yuan out. Let go, I don't want to go back with you. Let go. Lu Li, let go of me. Tao Yuan struggled fiercely. Lu Li was angry and amused at the same time. Did this woman think he was a human trafficker? Pan Chi also got out of the car from the other side and ran over to help. Lu Li, let go. You're hurting her. She's not your prisoner. You have no right to imprison her. She's my wife. I have the responsibility to protect her from being kidnapped by some people with bad motives. Several security guards heard the noise and rushed over. Pan Chi hurriedly asked them for help. He's robbing a good woman. Arrest him. But the security guards didn't listen. Instead, they detained Pan Chi. Why did you arrest me? He's the bad guy. He's the one you should arrest. This psycho has been harassing my wife. Ask her to stay in the police station for a few days. Yes, Boss Lu. Tao Yuan was anxious. Tell them to let go of Chi-Chi. Do you hear me? Lu Li, I've already warned her before, but she didn't listen. If I don't punish her, she won't think I'm easy to deal with. Don't worry, she won't die after a few days in the police station. You should worry about yourself first. Tao Yuan struggled all the way and looked for help. But it was all in vain. She was forcibly dragged back to the room by Lu Li and thrown onto the bed. You're dead, the man said with a cold smile. He tore off his tie and grabbed one of her hands, tying her to the headboard. Why are you tying me up? Let go, let go. But he didn't listen. He took a few more ties and tied her other 3 hands and feet. Tao Yuan was now tied to the bed with her arms and legs spread out, unable to move. Lu Li, let go of me. Are you a pervert? She wriggled and struggled helplessly. She was angry, anxious, and humiliated. She was about to go crazy. Since you don't want to stay by my side, then so be it. I warned you to stay here, but you didn't listen. Here, this is your punishment. I'm not your prisoner. What are you doing? Using private means? Who do you think you are? You're not a judge. I'm not a judge, but I have more power than a judge. To deal with a disobedient little woman like you, I should use private means. Look, aren't you a lot more obedient now? Go to hell. Tao Yuan couldn't help but curse. Her face was completely red. Lu Li could clearly see through her every little thought. His lips curled up evilly. Why are you blushing? Did you think of something? Is it the same as what I think? Think your head. Let go of me. The man loosened the buttons on his shirt and climbed onto the bed. A pair of long arms propped on both sides of her head and suddenly pressed down. Their noses were almost touching and she could only see his face. Tao Yuan nervously swallowed a mouthful of saliva. He was like a strong magnetic field, strongly affecting her body. She was about to be drowned by those dangerous feelings. She held her breath and tried to minimize her presence. Weren't you very good at scolding people? Why didn't you continue scolding? Why are you holding your breath? Look at your little face, it's all red. Do you want to suffocate yourself to death? The more he spoke, the closer he got. Tao Yuan nervously swallowed her saliva again. This man's breath was poisonous. This man's gaze was magical. Even when she hated him to the bone, she still felt like she was about to sink into his pitch-black pupils. Her heart felt like it was being grasped by a hand, constantly pulling it down and sinking into oblivion. Lu Li lowered his head and gently pecked her ear, occasionally sticking out his tongue to lick it. Her cochlea was her sensitive spot. Once he touched it, she would tremble as if she was electrocuted. Do you like it? Not speaking? If you don't speak, I'll take it as a silent agreement. He smiled wickedly. Tao Yuan finally could not hold it in and angrily stopped him. Don't touch me, you're already a fish on my chopping board. I can do whatever I want. For someone like me, how could I let go of a delicacy that's already in my mouth, don't you think so? Tao Yuan's eyes were red, her face was also red, and her breathing was erratic. No matter how she tried to control it, she still revealed her fear of him. People like you should go to hell. She said hatefully. I'll go to hell just because I'm playing with my wife? I don't think so. That feeling should be more wonderful than going to heaven. Don't you want to try it? I'd rather die. What's the hurry? In a while, I'll let you die, a death that'll make you wish you were dead. Lu Li originally just wanted to scare her, but the tied-up woman looked especially wild. Every pore in his body felt stimulated and was itching to ruthlessly torture her. He had already begun to automatically imagine those scenes. Don't do anything rash. I don't want to. Help? Help? Tao Yuan let out a desperate cry for help. The man on top of her suddenly laughed. The laughter came from Tao Yuan's chest. She could not suppress her anger. What are you laughing at? I'm just scaring you. He straightened his body and slowly adjusted his shirt. We'll definitely play this game, but it has to be under the condition that you're willing. After all, I'm not a man who likes to use force in bed. You don't like it? You Lu Li like this the most. Are you hinting for me to continue? Tao Yuan was so scared that she screamed. She had no idea how to farm. Don't touch me. The man got off the bed. Since you just want to scare me, you've achieved your goal, right? Can you let me go now? Tao Yuan thought of a tied-up sparrow and was about to go crazy. I want to go to the washroom. Oh. Don't tell me you want me on the bed. You won't. Tao Yuan was indeed not to that extent. I'm hungry, I want to eat lunch. I coaxed you to eat just now, but you didn't eat. Now that lunchtime has passed, I won't wait for you. If you don't regulate your meal time, you won't eat on time in the future. The tone and method he used to lecture her was like an adult lecturing a child. Tao Yuan was not satisfied. Whenever he was unhappy, he grounded her and even tied her up. Which one of them was more childish? Deep in his bones, he was a giant baby wearing human skin, extremely childish. Calm down. Arguing with this kind of person would only anger her to death. Tao Yuan took a few deep breaths and adjusted her tone. Let go of me, let's talk. Now you know how to talk. The man seemed to have been waiting for her to say this. He raised his eyebrows with a hint of pride. His eyes were clearly saying, I can't deal with you. Chapter 564. It's too late. Besides, your promise has no credibility with me. I prefer to use this method to educate you. He showed a very gentle smile. Enjoy it slowly. Tao Yuan experienced the most difficult afternoon of her life. The clock on the wall moved extremely slowly. Even 5 minutes felt like a year. She painfully thought that freedom was so precious. On the contrary, Lu Li was very comfortable. He sat in the leather chair, smoking, drinking, and reading documents. From time to time he would comfort her with a few hypocritical words. He was in a very good mood. The sky slowly darkened. Tao Yuan felt that she was going to die in bed. Finally the man got up, looked at his watch and said coolly, "It's 6 o'clock. Time flies. Have you learned your lesson? Will you still oppose me in the future?" Tao Yuan closed her eyes and ignored him. She was resentful. "Are you addicted to tying me up and don't want to let go? If I answer you, will you let go of me?" Lu Li smiled and did not say anything. He untied one of her hands. "I'll ask you again. Have you learned your lesson?" Tao Yuan nodded hard. "Let go of me. Will you go to those parties behind my back in the future?" "No, I won't do it again." Tao Yuan thought that as long as he let her go, she would be willing to say anything. "That's good. Don't make me angry in the future. I don't want to tie you up again." Lu Li gently pecked her lips and then let go of the other 3 places. His tie was very soft, so it did not hurt Tao Yuan. But after being tied up for so long, her limbs were stiff and numb. Lu Li realized that he had gone too far. He regretted it and helped her up. "Are you numb? Let me massage it for you. I don't want your hypocrisy. Go away." Tao Yuan suddenly became emotional and pushed him away with her shoulder. "You tied me up. Why are you pretending to be a good person now? I just wanted to scare you. Is there anyone as scary as you? I'm not your prisoner. Why are you tying me up?" The grievances that had been suppressed for 4 hours suddenly broke the dam, and Tao Yuan's tears fell down. "You bastard, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. I'm sorry, I was wrong." Lu Li hugged her and gently coaxed her. "I lost my mind because I was jealous. That day you were almost taken away by that man. I can't imagine what would have happened to you if I had been a step slower. I just hope that you can be more vigilant and learn to protect yourself. Don't let those men who approach you with ulterior motives take advantage of you. You're lying. You're selfish and petty. You bullied me on purpose. Torturing me made you happy and fulfilled, didn't it? You lunatic bastard. I'll die in your hands sooner or later." She cursed and hit him like a madwoman for a long time. Lu Li endured it all. It was his fault. Even if he was worried about her, he shouldn't have used this method as a punishment. He had really crossed the line. When Tao Yuan was tired of hitting and cursing, he hugged her tightly. At first she struggled a bit, but soon she lost her strength. Her curses turned into sobs. "Don't tie me up again. Okay. Swear. I swear. However, if you're willing to let me tie you up and play exciting sex games with you, then it's a different story." "I won't. I'm not a masochist." Tao Yuan punched him sadly. Her crying face was delicate and pitiful. Lu Li's heart ached. "That's not abuse. That's love for you. You're talking nonsense. You're the most selfish and hateful person." "Okay, I'm selfish, I'm hateful, I apologize." Lu Li's heart ached as he wiped away her tears. "You can scold me all you want. Don't cry anymore?" Tao Yuan was still sobbing. She suddenly realized that she was in his arms and her tone sounded like she was acting coquettishly. What the hell? She was so angry that she wanted to cut him into 1,000 pieces. "Okay?" She quickly broke free from his arms and wiped her tears. "Don't be a hypocrite. I was angry before and I regret it now. Most importantly, my heart aches for you. That's definitely true. Is it fun to say such beautiful words after I've tied you up? Should I be grateful to you for torturing me?" Tao Yuan suddenly thought of something important and her face tightened. "How's Panchi? Let her go. She came out half an hour ago. You can't really think that I'll lock her up for a few days, right?" Seeing that he didn't want to lie, Tao Yuan was relieved, but she didn't let him off. "What can't a person like you do? There are indeed few women who can annoy me as much as she does, but I'm magnanimous and won't argue with her. Saying that she'll stay in the police station for a few days is just to scare her. I believe that after this she won't dare to meddle in other people's business." Listening to his tone and that arrogant attitude, it was as if he was a private judge who could punish people however he wanted. But this was a powerful society. Those with power and influence could manipulate the fate of others at will. No matter how angry she was, there was nothing she could do. "Hungry? Let's go eat?" "I don't want to eat." Lu Li just stood up and stopped. He raised the corner of his mouth and smiled at her faintly. "Have you forgotten the pain after the scar has healed? What did I say just now? You must eat on time. Have you forgotten it so quickly?" Tao Yuan secretly swallowed her saliva. She was afraid that he would punish her again, so she bluffed. "You said that you won't tie me up again." "I promised not to tie you up again, but I have a lot of ways. I advise you not to ask for trouble. You, don't be like a hedgehog all the time. I don't want to bully you. Lu Li patted her head as if he was coaxing a little pet who was throwing a tantrum. Although, the way you cry and throw a tantrum in my arms is really cute. She was forced to eat, but when the food was served, Tao Yuan realized that she was really hungry. She only had a sandwich and milk in the morning, and she was hungry in the afternoon. She also threw a tantrum in the afternoon. It would be strange if she wasn't hungry. Anyway, she had already made a fool of herself in front of him, so she wolfed down the food without caring about her image. Lu Li smoked and admired her ferocious appearance. He couldn't help but want to laugh. When he first met her after coming back from abroad, the impression this woman gave him was that she was mature, elegant, noble, cold, unreasonable, heartless and heartless. He thought that she had really changed into a different person. But after spending some time with her, her nature was revealed bit by bit. What she had before was just a facade. Actually, how strong could a woman be? She was fragile, delicate, and needed a man's care like a flower. Looking at her ugly appearance, Lu Li was actually full of tenderness. Was this what they meant by being taken advantage of? The way you look now, there are 4 words to describe it. He took a deep puff of the cigarette and slowly exhaled, mocking her. A vicious dog pouncing on its prey. The woman who was busy eating rolled her eyes at him. You're the dog. Eat slowly, no one is fighting with you. If it's not enough, order more. Cough, cough, cough. Tao Yuan ate too fast and choked. Lu Li quickly handed her a glass of water and sat beside her. He smoothed her back and sighed helplessly. How are you acting like the wife of a CEO? You're more like a refugee. Tao Yuan choked and blushed. She struggled to catch her breath and slapped his perverted hand away. Why are you sitting here? Go back. I'd better sit in case anything happens to you because you eat too fast. Lu Li's long arm rested on the back of her chair, almost encircling her in the crook of his arm. Because he did it secretly, Tao Yuan did not notice that they were very close. She just did not like him sitting beside her. However, a fly would come back again. She could only ignore him and continue eating. After eating and drinking, Lu Li sent her back to her room. He did not force her to sleep with him, which was the biggest gift to Tao Yuan, so she did not refuse him. At the door, Lu Li obviously did not want to leave. He leaned on the porch and looked at her with lingering eyes, hinting for her to invite him in. However, before he could say anything, Tao Yuan had already said goodbye and closed the door. What a heartless woman. Lu Li shook his head and wanted to press the doorbell, but he hesitated. It was better not to give her any pressure tonight. No matter how reluctant he was, he could only leave. After entering the door, Tao Yuan waited for a while and only breathed a sigh of relief when she heard the footsteps go away. After a day of fooling around, her nerves were highly strained and she was about to collapse. She decided to take a bath and relax. After taking a bath for more than an hour and applying a beautiful facial mask, she felt much more comfortable. Just as she was about to sleep, the doorbell rang. The moment she opened the door, she cursed. What do you want now? Are you done? Outside the door, Ouyang Shua was stunned and teased. Why are you so grumpy? Are you on your period? Why are you here? Who do you think it is? Ouyang Shua put his hands in his trouser pockets and stood there leisurely, looking like a beast in human clothing. His beautiful appearance always exuded a hint of evil, especially when he smiled. Although Ouyang Shua was not a good person, he was not as perverted as Lu Li. Tao Yuan secretly heaved a sigh of relief and showed a trace of exhaustion. No one. Aren't you going to invite me in? As soon as he finished asking, he did not wait for her to reply and said thank you, then walked past her and entered the room. Tao Yuan widened her eyes speechlessly. She did not agree to it at all. Okay? Did all men nowadays have heterosexual cancer? She chased after him. I'm going to sleep. It's only 11 o'clock. It's already very late and I'm very sleepy. She yawned loudly. There are some work-related matters that I want to talk to you about. Can't we talk about it tomorrow? It was late at night, a man and a woman alone in a room. No matter how she thought about it, Tao Yuan felt uncomfortable and only wanted to chase him away as soon as possible. Since I'm here, I can't come here for nothing. Ouyang Shua completely ignored her dissatisfaction. Anyway, a man like him should be welcomed wherever he went and would bring out the best in any place. Just based on his beautiful appearance, he was so confident. But before she could finish, he had already sat down and unbuttoned his suit with one hand, revealing the gray shirt inside. He calmly made a decision. Chapter 565. From the moment Ouyang Shua appeared, entered uninvited and talked to himself, Tao Yuan was speechless. This was her inner monologue. What wine do you have here? Let's talk about work, why drink wine? Tao Yuan thought to herself, was he going to talk about life philosophy from poetry? We're not in the company, why so serious? What wine do you have? Another fly that couldn't be driven away. Tao Yuan was helpless. What wine do you want to drink? Anything is fine, it depends on what you like. If you want to drink something stronger, it's okay. Even if I get drunk, I won't take advantage of you. Of course, if you're passionate, then I... Stop. Red wine, okay? Ouyang Shua nodded like a gentleman. Whatever you like. Tao Yuan went to the wine cabinet and found a bottle of red wine and 2 goblets. Not only did they chat, but they also had to drink. Who knew how long they would have to drink? Her beauty sleep was going to be ruined. How was your vacation? Happy? That was terrifying. What a tragedy. Tao Yuan couldn't say it out loud. If I had known, I would have gone to work. I'll go back tomorrow. So fast? I just got here. What's up with the project at the resort? What are you doing here? The lie is that there are still a few documents for me to sign. Then what's the truth? The truth is that I missed you, so I came over. Ouyang Shua's appearance was already feminine enough, it was even more inappropriate for him to say such words. His scorching gaze could make all women prostrate themselves at his feet. But this had no effect on Tao Yuan, so she was too lazy to respond. What? You don't believe me? But the truth is, I always felt that something was missing when you weren't around and I couldn't concentrate on work. Later I realized that it was because you weren't around. When I realized that, I missed you even more. Ouyang's words were half true. He knew that he had a good impression of Tao Yuan, but he didn't expect that he would miss her so much. It wasn't because he was her target. It was purely because he was thinking about her. Sometimes, in the middle of work, he would think about her quarreling with him. He would think about her angry face and her beautiful round eyes. Then he laughed nervously. Coming to find her was part of his plan, but that kind of anticipation was not part of his plan. He didn't even have time to go back to his room before coming to find her. This was the first time he had experienced such impatience. The moment he saw her, he finally understood where that urgent feeling came from. She had dug a hole in his heart that only she could fill. Of course, Tao Yuan didn't know Ouyang Shua's feelings. This man had repeatedly provoked her and said some words from time to time. She was already used to it. She just thought that he was a playboy and liked to flirt around. She took a sip of red wine and replied with one word. Oh? That's it? What else do you want? You want me to lie to you and say that I miss you too? I can't say it and you won't believe me. Tell me, maybe I will believe you. I don't like to lie. Women who are too rational are very boring. Yes, I'm very boring, so don't use the methods you use to deal with girls on me. It's a waste of time. Tao Yuan's heart of stone would hurt men more or less, but Ouyang Shua didn't mind. Instead, he smiled relaxedly. No matter how much I spend on you, it will never be a waste. It was one thing for Tao Yuan not to believe his words, but Ouyang Shua's eyes were very magical. The 100,000 volts emitted from them made her shiver all over and her back go numb. This cunning man was too good at using his appearance to his advantage. If it were any other woman, she would have been seduced by him. Didn't you say to talk about work? You affect my work efficiency. Isn't this a work matter? He said it as if that was the case, but he was obviously talking nonsense with a serious face. Tao Yuan couldn't be bothered to deal with him for another second. I'm going to rest, you can go. It's still early. It's already annoying that you came in uninvited. Don't stay here, okay? Get up. Ouyang Shua was still sitting there, slowly drinking the red wine, but he didn't move with a what can you do to me posture. Get up. Tao Yuan couldn't help but pull him. Hey, get up you. Ouyang Shua held her right hand. Her skin was smooth and soft. This was the only pair of hands that he didn't want to let go of once he held them. Even a scheming man like him would have times when he couldn't help it. His heart moved and he couldn't help but say, I said I miss you, it's true. You have a charm, do you know? I feel like I'm attracted. Who will believe your nonsense? Let go of my hand. She tried to pull her hand out of his palm. Yes. I'm full of nonsense, but there are always some truths. If possible, I also hope it's not true. Tao Yuan couldn't understand what he was saying at all. She just thought that one of his nerves had gone haywire again. His struggle provoked Ouyang Shua's desire to conquer. Why could Lu Li have her, but he couldn't? He couldn't take it slow anymore. The man who was always calm suddenly felt very annoyed. He didn't want to care about any plans, he didn't mind having her body first. Thinking of this, he pulled her into his arms. Tao Yuan fell on his lap. Just when she was about to scold him, she was frightened by his eyes. The usual smile in those amber eyes was pierced by coldness, filled with a strong desire to possess, as if he had suddenly changed into a different person. It was very scary. She knew that he was a dangerous person, but no matter what, he had always been using an elegant appearance to disguise himself, but now it was completely torn apart. No matter how elegant a fox was, it was still a beast. It was cruel to the bones. Could it be that she had awakened that side of him? I said that I missed you, but why are you so disdainful? Could it be that my words can't be trusted? You let go of me. Ouyang Shua. She continued to struggle, but he tightened his grip and his chest continued to squeeze into her body. Let go of me. He grabbed her chin, causing her to groan in pain. She angrily glared at him. Are you crazy? I'm warning you, let go of me. Ouyang Shua didn't know what was wrong with him. In short, he suddenly became very angry and suddenly exploded. He could clearly see the fierce look in her eyes. That look was something that only he had seen before and he had never shown it to others, but she had awakened the devil in his body. Her panic was so tempting, and the anger that stirred in his chest stirred his desire for her. He remembered the taste of her sweetness. Ouyang Shua was like a starving beast that had finally found its prey and couldn't wait to devour it. He had always done things according to plan, living too rationally and being too tired. At this moment he didn't care about anything, he just wanted to have her. Tao Yuan placed a hand on his chest, futilely stopping him from coming closer. Don't be like this. You're drunk. Ouyang Shua. Don't. I told you to let go. Tao Yuan screamed out. She used all her strength to push him, knocking over the wine glass in his hand and splashing it all over his body. He didn't know if it was because of the spilled wine or her scream, but Ouyang Shua suddenly woke up and realized what he had just done. What was wrong with him? It was as if he had been cursed. He didn't know what he was doing at all. Tao Yuan struggled out of his arms, panting. Anger, fear, and many other emotions rushed to the top of her head. He actually lost control. Ouyang Shua came back to his senses and quickly returned to his previous appearance. I was just joking with you. Are you scared? His tone was very light, but Tao Yuan knew that it wasn't a joke at all. Ouyang Shua's behavior just now was like a schizophrenic. No, he didn't have a split personality. The one just now was the real him. The one she usually saw was just a disguise. But she didn't dare to anger him anymore and calmed herself down. Are you crazy? Is there anyone who is as scary as you? I didn't expect you to be so timid. Hurry up and leave. He helplessly looked at his shirt and pants that were stained red. Do you think I can leave like this? You don't mind if I take a shower here, right? If you don't say anything, it means that you agree. Don't worry, I'll leave after I'm done. Ouyang Shua got up and took a step forward. Tao Yuan took 2 steps back. His eyes darkened. It seemed that she was already wary of him. He entered the bathroom. Tao Yuan clutched her heart, her whole body covered in cold sweat. She originally thought that Lu Li was the most dangerous person, but now it seemed that Ouyang Shua wasn't much better. It was just that he hid it better. Did she commit murder and arson in her previous life? Why did she provoke 2 lunatics at the same time? After being in danger for a long time, she would be forced to become mentally ill sooner or later. After taking a shower, Ouyang Shua came out in a bathrobe. The belt was very loose, revealing a large part of his chest. His skin was fairer than a woman's and his body was also on the thin side. But his chest and abdominal muscles were very strong, thin and strong. His pure and beautiful body was also very seductive. His wet hair rested on his forehead, revealing a pair of peach blossoms smiling eyes. The corners of his eyes were upturned so it gave people the feeling that he was always smiling. His smile was mysterious and unfathomable, inviting people to investigate. Can you tighten your belt a little more? You're not wearing underwear. You're really observant. Do I still need to observe? Tao Yuan was embarrassed and embarrassed. I can see it. Where? Ouyang Shua deliberately lowered his head to look. Hey you, Tao Yuan hurriedly covered her eyes. I'm not blind. Can you pay attention to your image? Maybe I'm purposely trying to show you? No one wants to see it. Ouyang Shua wiped his hair with one hand and smiled lazily. Only those who are attentive will notice it. You're the one who wants to see it. Speaking of which, between me and Lu Li, whose is more spectacular. Don't say such things again. Get lost. Tao Yuan pushed him away. Just when they reached the door, the doorbell rang. She looked out. Damn it. Why was Lu Li here again? Looking at Tao Yuan's frightened reaction, Ouyang Shua did not need to guess who it was. Lu Li's visit was also part of his plan. Men understood men the best. Just now, when Lu Li stood at the door with a reluctant and unwilling look, it meant that he would definitely come again tonight. This was also the reason why he kept dragging and refusing to leave. Tao Yuan's little face was pale, panicking and at a loss. Ouyang Shua asked lazily. Chapter 566. No. After she screamed, she quickly covered her mouth and lowered her voice. It's Lu Li. Oh, it's Boss Lu. Is he here to discuss work with you? Tao Yuan rolled her eyes at him. The deliberate look on his face was really hateful. This bastard had no other ability, but he was good at gloating. Ding dong, the doorbell rang twice again. Are you going to keep the door closed? You hide first. Why? Why is he asking me? You're dressed like this, he'll definitely misunderstand. But we didn't do anything. I can explain to him. It'll be strange if you can explain it clearly. He doesn't trust you that much? Ouyang Shua raised his eyebrows and smirked. Have you been caught having an affair before? No one will think you're mute if you don't speak. Hurry and hide. Tao Yuan pushed him into the room inside. Hide in the washroom inside. Hurry up. She kept urging him and broke into a cold sweat. Only then did Ouyang Shua walk in slowly. Tao Yuan took a few deep breaths to adjust herself and went to open the door. However, she did not fully open the door. She only opened the door a little and looked at the man outside warily. Why are you here again? Why did you take so long to open the door? I was worried that something might have happened to you. What could have happened to me? I was taking a shower just now. I didn't hear you. What's the matter? I miss you again. Lu Li said the words of love very naturally. His eyes were gentle with hidden expectations. That kind of gentleness was very touching. However, Tao Yuan was in a highly tense state now. She had no time to be moved. She just wanted to get rid of him as soon as possible. I'm going to rest. I'll go in and sit for a while. It won't take long. It's almost midnight. I'm really sleepy. I've been tormented by you the whole day and I'm exhausted. Can you let me go? She put her palms together and begged. Please, please. Her pitiful look softened Lu Li's heart. He was hesitating whether he should leave or not when he suddenly caught a flash of panic in Tao Yuan's eyes. Although she hid it well, nothing could escape his sharp eyes. She was hiding something from him. Did he not let her in because there was someone inside? Lu Li did not question her directly. His expression was still gentle. Just for a while. I'll leave after chatting with you for a while. Tao Yuan pushed him with one hand, trying to stop him from coming in. Lu Li. You. The man walked in and looked around. There was nothing out of the ordinary. Tao Yuan stood nervously at the side, her heart beating like thunder. Perhaps it was because he had a guilty conscience. She felt that he was like a detective. Even the smallest details could not escape his eyes. She had already put away Ouyang Shua's clothes, shoes and wine glasses. There should be no more loopholes. Why does it smell like red wine? Ah. She gave a shudder. Oh, I just put on a red wine facial mask. She was quick-witted. Afraid that he would not believe her, she added. The red wine facial mask has the effect of soothing and whitening the skin. Yes. She nodded vigorously. You can go now, right? Are you in such a hurry to drive me away? Don't you miss me? He asked ambiguously, his eyes were fiery and sentimental. The next second her soft body was embraced by him. Tao Yuan was caught off guard and hurriedly pushed his chest with her forearm. Lu Li, I like it when you call my name. It sounds nice. As soon as he got closer, the faint tobacco fragrance on his body filled Tao Yuan's nose. It penetrated into her internal organs, seeped into her soul and softened her limbs. Lu Li, this person, no matter how hateful his character was, he was a seductive existence that would make people unconsciously sink into his charm. Even his somewhat hateful gentleness seemed so attractive. Tao Yuan began to tremble again. She could not control her body and gradually she could not control her heart. She could see herself in his dark eyes. She was nervous, shy, helpless and unable to control her emotions. How long have we been apart? Has it been an hour? Why do I miss you so much? Feels like a century. With one hand around her waist and the other hand caressing her smooth skin, his voice was full of lingering emotions. His voice was low and deep, and it had a kind of magic that made people intoxicated. What about you? Do you miss me? Tao Yuan was so nervous that her eyelashes fluttered. She was in a state of emptiness and could not think at all. There were only some small gasps coming from her throat, and it was impossible to form a complete syllable. Look at how nervous you are. Are you afraid that I will eat you? You are obviously moved like me, why do you want to deny it? Isn't it tiring to fight with your own heart? Every question he asked seemed to question her soul, wanting her to clearly recognize the things that she had always refused to admit. Tao Yuan felt that one of her feet had already stepped into a swamp and was constantly sinking. There was a feeling that she had fallen into an inescapable net that he had set up. She was deeply intoxicated. He looked at her nervous little face that was flushed red. Her cheeks were a beautiful color, her pink lips were trembling, and her little tongue was also trembling. An unintentional temptation was the most tempting. There was nothing that could make a man more irresistible than a woman as pure as a deer. His large palm caressed her slender waist. The soft touch made him unable to let go. It was as if his palm was slowly infected with her fragrance and had the same body temperature as hers. Tao Yuan was really bewitched and had forgotten about Ouyang Shua's existence. There was only each other in their world. Her breathing was messy and disturbed. When their lips touched, she could not help but let out a moan. Like a traveler who had been thirsty for a long time, as if she had been waiting for this kiss, she unconsciously stood on her tiptoes. The little fist that was originally pressed against his chest gripped his shirt so tightly that it was deformed. But her whole body was soft right now. If she did not hold on to him, she would definitely melt. As their lips and tongues moved, the woman's sweet pudding smell and the man's faint tobacco smell mingled together, confusing each other's minds. The atmosphere became hotter and hotter. Both of their bodies were the source of heat, and the heat was deeply intertwined. Everything had developed so naturally, following their own hearts. They both longed for each other. Their bodies intertwined. Dong! The sudden sound from inside scared Tao Yuan. She pushed Lu Li away like a bird that was startled by the mere twang of a bough. Damn, she had actually forgotten that Ouyang Shua was still inside. Lu Li's consciousness was also awakened. She was not the only one who was intoxicated by that kiss. He had forgotten his own purpose. What's going on inside? As he spoke, he deliberately wanted to walk in. Tao Yuan hurriedly pulled him back. No, nothing. The bottle fell, right? Don't go in. Her flustered look betrayed everything, but she could not control it at all. Her heart was thumping like a drum. Would he notice? What if he insisted on going in? Ouyang Shua was only wearing a bathrobe. How could she explain it clearly? Tao Yuan thought that she was dead this time, but Lu Li actually did not continue to ask and stopped walking. Well, then I'll go back first. Rest early. He touched her face and gave her a good-night kiss before he left. Tao Yuan was so nervous that she almost cried. Every minute and second just now was too much psychological pressure. Sooner or later she would be forced to have a mental illness. She slumped on the sofa, her eyes listless, and her face was still in a state of shock. Ouyang Shua came out of the bathroom and looked at her with a gloating expression. Look at how scared you are. Should I call an ambulance for you? He reached out and waved his hand in front of her eyes. Hey, come back to your senses. Tao Yuan slapped his hand away and got annoyed. It's all your fault for coming here so late and refusing to leave. Something bad almost happened. We didn't do anything. You don't know how possessive Lu Li is. She rolled her eyes at him. So, he kissed you forcibly just now? You peeked. Do I need to? Suddenly there was no sound, but there was no sound of breathing. That was not sex but kissing. Ouyang Shua's tone was very calm, but it did not mean that he was calm inside. He had not thought that the kiss between Lu Li and Tao Yuan would make him feel so uncomfortable. It was as if there was a fire burning in his stomach, so he deliberately threw a bottle to interrupt their kiss. Get lost. Tao Yuan chased him out of the door, thinking that the farce was finally over, but she did not expect Lu Li to be standing at the door. Ouyang Shua was wearing a bathrobe, she was scared, and Lu Li was looking gloomy. The three of them were standing at the door. Tao Yuan let out an ah, and began to tremble. You, why did you? I suddenly remembered that there was something I did not say, so I came back. He casually found an excuse. It was clearly not. He had seen that something was wrong with her and had been waiting at the door to catch her. Tao Yuan was angry at his cunning, but it was not her turn to be angry. It was impossible not to misunderstand the situation. Lu Li had such a bad temper, would he kill her? Thump thump, thump thump, Tao Yuan could only hear her heart beating so fast that it was about to jump out of her throat. Would today be the day of her death? At the door, the three of them had their own thoughts and the atmosphere was stagnant. Boss Lu. Ouyang Shua was the first to break the silence. He was the only one who looked happy and did not feel embarrassed at all. He explained calmly. Don't misunderstand, I am just looking for Manager Tao to talk about work. Although he said not to misunderstand, his tone was obviously to deliberately make people misunderstand. It was not the first time that Lu Li was provoked by him. This man obviously had ulterior motives. He was deliberately provoking him, and if he lost control it would be to his liking. In a contest between men, Lu Li had always been the one who won. He would not lose his mind to the point of flying into a rage. It's okay to talk about work, but it does not have to be at night. A man coming out of a woman's room in the middle of the night and dressed like this is easy to be misunderstood. But I believe my wife. Lu Li put one hand on Tao Yuan's shoulder and looked gentle, but his fingers were secretly tightening. She could only endure the pain. Oh, really? Ouyang Shua countered with a mocking tone. If you have something to talk about work in the future, please do it during the day. I don't want anyone to disturb my wife at night. Ouyang Shua shrugged. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.